Ba, 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 ba.
Bird up. Bird up.
Ba, 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 ba.
Bird up. Bird up. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Wow.
Ba, 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 ba. That's the highest.
Wow.
I was seeing how high you're gonna hit.
Yeah, that's as much. I used to be able to go higher than that.
Yeah, that's the downfall of aging. You lose your ability to go higher.
And also smoking.
And smoking will do that.
Yeah, that'll do it. But hey, at one point in your life, you're gonna sound like you're gargling gravel, so that'll be fun.
I mean, it'll be really cool when I'm old.
Yeah.
Or I'll
you're
sound
old.
like that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, or I'll sound like that guy. Like I have been smoking for 17 years.
One or the other. Like you're bound to get some movie roles either way.
Yeah, exactly. Hong Kong.
So football occurred this week.
Boy, did it.
Boy, did it. And this is a wild week, actually.
I feel like we learned a lot this week.
I think we did learn a decent amount
about
this
what
week.
teams really are, who are frauds and who are the real deal.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But, you never know. There's sometimes some teams are frauds till like week 10.
True.
That's the beauty of the game of football. The beauty of the gridiron. I always love those like the old-timey NFL films thing where he's like, the gridiron. Things happen. Poetry in motion.
They only spoken like that nasally voice apparently back in the day because like the microphones couldn't register their voices otherwise. But there's an appeal to it. I would tune into a broadcast centered around maintaining a 50s theme and vibe.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there goes Adrian Peterson running down the field. 43 miles an hour.
Like if they got somebody that like was very good at mimicking that style, I feel like there's a market for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's also
the back in the day.
Oh, like the faux
I'd be like, "Hello, everyone." I kind of sound like Review Bra, actually.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Crendor Videos.
Yeah,
here we are.
Well, there's that. They were also doing the transatlantic accent thing too, which is just kind of like completely gone now. Nobody.
The Atlantic is trans now.
Whoa!
This is what they're doing. First it was the frogs, and now
climate change did it. And so I honestly, one of my favorite announcers that was like that was Doc Emery in hockey, and he was always like, "Here we are, two hockey teams going at it." And
that rules. I love that.
Yeah, it is really, and that's just. I'd rather have that
We
over
have a
like,
very-
oh boy, we have the Bears and Rams at it today, and it's a good one. Like imagine like the Bears and Rams head-to-head matchup, ready to go. Like
Ian Eagle's grandson is going to be on like, this is the third quarter, and I still sound exactly the same as we did 80 years ago.
Or just the contrast of voices, which was like Madden and Summerall, where Madden's like, pull up the middle, and he's like, here we are on the gridiron.
Well, they kind of stopped going for that. It's like they go for the more like inoffensive,
Robo Boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's just very boring and
term.
What's his name's one of my favorite announcers now. He does basketball. He does
Breen?
Tom Breen?
Not Breen.
Tom Breen
It's
came back?
Kevin Harlan?
Kevin Harlan.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, I really like Kevin Harlan.
He's got some emotion.
Yeah, he's got some emotion. He can do any sport. He just has that great announcer voice. The other week they did a cut to a highlight and the audio didn't work, and he's like, "I'll do the highlight myself," and he just like started commentating it.
Oh yeah, dude, that's a classic clip.
Yeah, it's so good. So we did have football news. Starting with some bad news for the 49ers. Christian McCaffrey has Achilles tendonitis in both of his legs.
Oof.
Dude can't walk.
Yeah, that's not good. And Kyle Shanahan confirmed that he's experienced bilateral Achilles tendonitis for some time, but it is more concentrated in one leg than the other. So listen, I don't know what that means aside from it's bad.
What is it? I don't know what it let's do a little research here.
The tendon that connects the back of your leg to your heel becomes swollen and painful near the bottom of the foot. So I guess it's not any sort of like strain or tear, but is just like swelling and soreness for the most part.
And I can see that would be confusing because like it's not like an injury. It's a thing that's happening. Like inflammation can be really weird.
Yeah. And
like,
it's literally
there's a lot of conditions that involve inflammation that we still have like no idea what to do about them. They're like, I mean, your body's killing itself, so sorry. The thing that is designed to keep you alive has decided that part of you must die.
And it's like one of the causes can just be overuse. So it's like your body's just like, stop doing that thing for a while. It's like, okay,
we're gonna make you, goddammit.
I think that it's not going to look good this year, but he'll be completely fine next year because the true reason for his issues is a curse.
I knew it.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Sorry.
It's a curse.
Has Google doubled up on AI now? Because I'm reading, they have the AI thing at the
it's so
top.
fucking terrible.
Well, there was a different little bar at the right, and I'm reading it, and it was totally normal until one sentence where it was like, Achilles tendonitis is an injury of the tendon caused by overuse. The Achilles tendon is a band of tissue that joins the calf muscle. Achilles tendonitis is common in runners and middle-aged people who play sports only on the weekends. What?
Yeah, that's an AI
What did you just say?
That's a strange,
That's
only on the weekends?
Only on the weekends.
Bizarre element of AI content that is just like it's impossible for us to know where that's going. Like it's not even just like that it's random. It's just like, how did you decide that this was the piece of information that was critical to include in that sentence?
It's gonna like blow itself up pretty soon. I wonder what they're gonna do about it because it's like polluting everything to the point where the AI is now training itself on itself.
Yeah,
and then it's just that. Yeah, so like
the snake is eating its own tail.
Right, yeah. So and it's already a problem, so I don't know how they're gonna solve that if they can, honestly.
It's okay. Treatment most often does well with self-care.
Oh, good.
On the weekends?
Yeah, on the weekends.
Yeah. But sometimes that implies that sometimes it doesn't do well with self-care. You should have self-harmed instead.
Yeah, of course.
Well, that's what he's been doing up to this point.
Right.
And make sure you live stream it so you get the biggest amount of views.
Jesus.
That's on sorry,
we're
that's
in a Black Mirror world.
That's only on Kick. You got to go on Kick for that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, geez.
Yeah.
Dude, actually earlier today I was trying to Google something. Google itself, just the regular search is terrible now because it's like, oh yeah, I want to Google this one character from the show, and they're like, oh, you like that one character from the show? Did you not want to hear the answer to your question but instead wanted to buy the new thing that this author made? Do you want to buy it right now?
Mm-hmm.
Here's 6 articles about it with the shopping link.
They're trending.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bought some shit though, right?
Yeah, you bought some, right?
Yeah.
Of course, gotta buy it.
Devontae Adams is gaining trade rumor interest.
Yeah, well,
not again, man.
Well, he went. It was like a Facebook drama kind of thing, right? Like, 'cause he liked an Instagram or post or something about the Devontae Adams will never play a snap again, or you already played his last
said
snap.
that Devontae Adams said, I haven't heard from Antonio Pierce since the Raiders coach appeared to endorse trading him. So that's
shit.
That's not great for the Raiders. So
man,
yeah. Now that it says as of 3 hours ago, they are actively gauging interest with the top 3 teams, as you might have imagined: the Jets and Steelers, and the Commanders, the dark horse there.
Ooh, that would
actually be
cool.
Crazy.
I would love that.
I swear to God, if Joe Douglas does not manage to fucking snag him.
All that said, I would love Devontae Adams. I'm not going to sit here and be like, no, I don't want Devontae Adams, one of the best wide receivers in football. But at the same time, I'm looking at it as like a Bears scenario where it's like, that's not really our problem right now.
Yeah.
Like adding a wide receiver is not going to fix the defense being in the backfield 3 milliseconds into every snap. So
yeah, the speaking of which, injuries. So Steelers, James Daniels, center guard, is out for the year, torn Achilles.
Yep, that's one of our good O linemen. We also had our last week our first round draft pick out for basically the whole season. We have another O lineman who's been injured who might come back this week, but also might still be. It's just it's a disaster. It is an injury O line disaster. We spent so much effort and resources fixing the O line. We fixed it, and then they all died. So now we're back where we were before, where it's like, I don't know what to do. Injuries ruin football, and they're like unfixable. You can't stop injuries from happening. They just happen.
I know a way we could fix them.
I'm gonna hold on. So here's the thing, Rob, is that of all the armor things, like armor does not stop O linemen from falling weird and having their legs snap in half.
I think they could.
We try.
Yeah, if you made like a mechanical some way to prevent it from like bending in a direction that it's not supposed to.
Well, I
then
feel like
and just
they have to bend in a direction.
well, not in the directions that it's not supposed to. That's how you get
around like T-pose, like.
No, I mean like
if it's starfish, like
no, like if there's a degree, there's like a degree, like if it goes too far, it can't flex any farther. You know, the degrees that would injure a player. So
this is technology that doesn't exist.
It 100% exists. You could do that with like a slide rail kind of thing.
Yeah, but I feel like a 350-pound muscled lineman rolling up into you is going to bend whatever you've created in some way.
That might be true, but also they have billions of dollars to develop this kind of thing.
Because imagine
they're wearing armor too, though.
Imagine you.
Yeah, they would also be wearing armor.
Plus, okay, it gets rolled up in, it bends your leg, and then your leg is stuck there. It can't even get out of that position because it's got armor.
I can't believe we got into a real conversation about the armor. This is like the 18th time he's brought it up.
Because I do think it actually is. No, I do think like okay, to outside of the joking context, I do think like not specifically like plate armor they should look like Master Chief, although that would also be pretty cool. Yeah. But I mean, like, if you think about it, like these they're wearing what, like just chest protection, they're wearing like knee pads, you know, kind of thigh pads, shin pads,
right,
like a helmet, you know, like the way that the NFL players get injured is by mostly their limbs being bent out of shape in directions that they're not supposed to go.
Right.
You know what I mean? So those are things that that could already be, you know, you just by adding more things you could.
But then you're
mitigate it a bit.
restricting movement.
Exactly. The issue is agility. Like any piece of equipment you put on, no matter how light it is, will increase weight and make you slower.
Yes, that's true technically, and maybe it'll lead to them being 1 to 3% less agile or fast.
I think it'd be more than that, though, because in order to provide the protection that you want, it's going to need to be heavier and stronger. Like
it'll need to be slightly heavier, yeah, but like again, like it's not going to be, because like, you know, this is the same kind of thing like with plate armor for knights. They're dexterous, they're agile, they can move around, they can run, they can, you know, it's not like they put it on and they're like a slow moving tank thing.
I feel
and
like
you don't even need to do that for the thing. You just need better protection for them.
I mean, the NFL doesn't want people to get injured. If people get injured, they lose money because
ideally,
their star players and stuff are gone. So
but they also need the players to look a certain way too. Like for instance, the reason that they have open face masks is because the NFL wants you to see their faces, right?
Alternatively, in the money conversation too, think about it like it's basically a NASCAR car at that point. You got so much advertising space on a suit of armor.
That is true. Yes.
Yeah, that too.
Yep.
No, but like unironically, I do think they should have more protective gear on because, like you're saying, it's stupid that players that are being paid bajillions of dollars that everyone wants to see play get injured and they don't get to play, you know, for sometimes whole years, sometimes whole careers get derailed.
The other issue is no armor is going to stop someone from planting their foot wrong and just snapping a tendon.
Yeah.
Like that's not that's not like my leg bent too wrong. That's I stepped too hard in a certain way.
It's like,
well, I mean, again, I think if you stop the foot from actually being able to do that motion, then
if we just have them sit in a chair and wheel them
motion,
around.
That's the motion they're doing though. Like it's a normal motion that they just do slightly too much. Like the foot.
That's what I mean. You would prevent the
if you
slightly too much.
They won't be able to do it at all.
No, you would just prevent the slightly too much part.
But then it's
not
not
but
fun.
the slightly too much part is inside of them. Like it's not like their foot moved a certain like muscles and tendons can just be snapped sometimes and they can just tear without
that's
your
true.
leg
You wouldn't
bending
avoid
or
that.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't avoid that, but you would prevent the kind of injuries where like an Alex Smith injury or who's the other guy that got his leg bent backwards the other year? Like something like that, something that would prevent the leg from bending the wrong direction.
I mean, there's that one dude in basketball. He like shot a 3-pointer and came down, his leg snapped in half. Like sometimes it's just overuse.
Well, yeah, but then that's why you would have the extra support in the way of mechanical support.
Well, it just would have supported his broken bone at that point. Like I think it probably broke on contact.
It's possible. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying more protection would be better, like overall for them, and it would prevent.
I do think they should look into the knees. I don't know what you would do, but the knees are obviously the part that's the most. Like I don't think you're stopping legs and tendons and things like that, but maybe there's something that can be done about the knees. Because my God.
Yeah, to prevent it from bending that wrong way,
or just like get in there and if you want to be a football player, we rip your ACL out at the age of like 16, and we put in some kind of bionic ACL, and then we don't have to worry about it.
You know what's a good example of this in basketball? What kind of shoes do they wear?
Like Nikes and gym shoes.
But like specifically, they wear high top sneakers, right? And that's to support their ankle so that it doesn't twist the wrong way. It doesn't fully help, but it helps. You know what I mean? And that's the reason for the high tops.
Okay.
Well, get back to me in 20 years, and if the NFL is wearing Master Chief armor by then, I'll apologize for.
I think it would look sick, though, right? I mean, come on, think about that. If everyone was a Power Ranger,
that would be kind of cool.
I don't disagree. I'm just shocked by how engaged y'all were with that for so long.
That was a pretty intense conversation for.
It was.
Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence were also injured, high ankle sprain and foot.
Nice.
So,
well, one of them had a worse injury than the other, and I don't remember which one was which.
Parsons had the high ankle sprain.
Okay, that's the less worse one. The worst one was Lawrence. Then.
Yeah. So they're both going to miss multiple weeks likely. Although I think Parsons probably only like a week because I think they do have a bye week, which bye week this early seems kind of insane.
It is the first bye week.
Yep.
Week.
Then we had Christian Watson's out several weeks, also with a high ankle sprain.
A lot of high ankle sprains.
Yeah. His injury actually looked a lot worse, so I'm surprised. And Panthers Shaq Thompson, torn Achilles, out for season. That's unfortunate. Even though he is on the Panthers, everyone's like, whatever. Like, he is an older player, and he was playing pretty well. And he's pretty good. So that just sucks for him on like a personal level. And then Rashee Rice, probably out for a long time. They haven't confirmed anything.
I thought it was confirmed that it was an ACL, but
was it?
Said it was bad.
Yeah, it seems bad, but like nobody's confirmed anything yet. Like I just looked at all the news stuff, and they're just like, they haven't said anything. In fact, 35 minutes ago, they're like, he could be okay.
Yeah,
with the question mark.
Yeah, with a question mark.
We know as much as you do. Call it.
That was like one of the weirdest injuries where like Patrick Mahomes injured him.
Oh yeah,
that was just weird. And then let's see, any other injuries that happen?
Probably, but
there's probably. But
Aaron Rodgers almost got injured, so
that
was fun.
Yeah, that's fun. I did see Aaron Rodgers said his knee is kind of swollen or something, or it hurts.
Yeah, he was limping. He got hit. He got the shit kicked out of him in that game.
Classic Jets.
Yep.
So yeah, those are mainly all the news stories. So let's hop into football games.
Football.
Football. Starting with the Thursday game, which was Giants-Cowboys.
The Cowboys suck.
This is one of 4 or 5 games this week where, like, well, not only for the sake of my pick'ems, but also just for the sake of, like, competitive football, there were some teams that just entered situations where they had every chance in the world to win the game and just could not get it done. And this was 100% one of those cases. Daniel Jones had a put up or shut up moment, and he shut the fuck up. Like, this team did not show the stuff needed to win this game.
6 red zone drives, 5 field goals. That is bad.
It was real bad.
Hey, that's New York football, baby. That's just
literally
how we do it.
Any touchdowns and you win this game. But the Cowboys just, I mean, they were dicing them. Like the Giants looked like an offensive juggernaut going down the field, and then once they got to the red zone, they were like, I don't know, run the fucking ball, I guess. I want to talk about expectations and getting baited, and how football is kind of stupid, and people need to remember that it's stupid because everyone forgets, especially with sports betting and everything.
Soapbox real quick. I got soapbox.
Let me get the notes.
Here's the thing. Right now. Everyone, and this is like half personal anecdote, half like how the game works, but like everyone was talking about, oh man, Dallas Cowboys, their run defense is so bad. Holy moly. The Giants are going to run Devin Singletary for 1,000,000 quadrillion yards, and they're going to run the ball. It's going to be crazy. Everyone was saying this all week. All the media, everyone, my fantasy alerts were like, Devin Singletary. And it's like, and in my head, I'm like, oh, should I start Devin Singletary in fantasy then? And I ended up doing it. But I had this conversation with myself where I'm like, okay, I'm the Cowboys, and I am hearing nothing but this about, oh God, our run defense, we got gashed for like 300 yards against the Ravens or whatever. Maybe the Giants are going to overcommit to the run, and if we just play heavy run D, because, you know, like even if your run D is bad, you can still play in formations and setups that are like designed to stop the run, then maybe we'll stop. And then they did that, and they stopped the run. The whole game, the Giants got 26 rushing yards the whole game.
Yeah.
That's
1.1 yards per carry.
It's crazy. It's like, how did we not all see this coming? Like, this is not the only instance of this happening. It happened in the fucking Steelers game too, which we'll get to. But like, I think people completely forget that just because a team looks bad in a certain way, or like it's game to game. Like they're gonna change their plan. They're gonna do something different. They're gonna have expectations. And so the Cowboys probably were like, we're gonna get run on a lot. Let's not get run on a lot. And I think that there's got to be a little bit of nuance if you're the Giants, because they just kept trying. They were like, well, we got to run the ball. Their run defense is bad. And then meanwhile, you got Malik Neighbors catching everything thrown his way the whole game and getting a bajillion yards. And they're like, no, we gotta run the ball. The bad run defense, gotta run the ball. And I think this is just like really bad play calling, like, in essence. And I think teams get super trapped into this idea that, well, if this team has a bad this, we have to do that, and not playing what's happening in the game like in front of you.
Yeah.
And that's why you have 5 field goals and 6 red zone trips. That's just it.
I also think the Giants are bad.
They're also bad.
That's part of it, I think. Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, Daniel Jones is like, he's creating his own Dalton line. He's creating a Daniel Jones line for himself where, like, he looks really good sometimes, and he looks like a great quarterback. And then other times he's Daniel Jones.
There's a very subtle difference there, though, in that like Dalton was actually above the Dalton line, where Daniel Jones is very firmly below the Daniel Jones line.
It's very weird. I mean, like, his numbers aren't even horrible. Like, he almost had 300 yards and 1 interception. Like,
it's so much less about the numbers, though, and more about just like the moments. You know what I mean? Like, it's like opposite of CJ Stroud, where he just doesn't look like he knows what's going to solve the problem at any given moment.
Well, I mean, it's also like the Giants are kind of doing the Browns thing where they're like, he doesn't have anything really. Like, he finally has Malik Neighbors. But like, no run game. He threw the ball 40 times because the run game couldn't do anything, and there was no.
I mean, that can contribute a lot to the feeling of confusion, I guess. Yeah, just like nobody's open. What the fuck do I do?
Yeah, so I'm not trying to be a Daniel Jones defender. I just, in my eyes, I'm like, maybe head coach, what's his name? Brian Daboll is not the head coach we thought he was.
Guy who's getting fired after this year, probably.
From coach of the year to fired.
Did Jones have some kind of leg injury that I forgot about, and that explains his lack of like mobility? Because I feel like I remember him being a lot more like
He's had
willing to
neck
run.
injuries.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's also he's got the straight line speed. He's got no like
Yeah.
No
agility.
cutting. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the Madden stat where he's got high speed, then just like
Yeah.
5 agility. So he's just like once he gets going straight line, he's real fast.
Yeah.
the other thing that happened this game was the worst ref call, which I know is like bold to say the worst referee call, but they called a face mask on the wrong team.
Yeah.
Oh
God.
yeah, that was terrible.
It, like, how? Okay, first off, like, how do you do that? Because like someone, either the ref that threw the flag or the ref that was told because they grouped up. I remember like watching this call. They like did the thing where they huddled together. Like, what the fuck happened? I don't know. Did you see what fucking happened? I saw a face mask, but I don't remember who the fuck threw it or who did it. And so they just guessed, I guess. Which why we need to be able to overrule.
Cameras. You filmed it.
Yeah, the replay thing, like there's examples of the replay thing working really well this year. Like it's not perfect, but like I think even in the Monday games yesterday, they just like the refs will make a bad spot. Like it was like last night, and I think the Detroit or the Tennessee game, one of the games, there was a 3rd and like 8. He clearly got the first down, or the ref marked it like a yard short, like a dumbass. And it was like, oh, well, 4th and 1. And then they buzzed in like, no, replay has just said you're an idiot. He got the first down. And it was really fast. It took him like 5 seconds to fix it. And it's like, if you can do that for that, you can do that for anything. Like, especially a pivotal like calling a face mask. That's 30 yards of difference for that face mask. 15 the other way instead of 15 forward.
I also suggest that they add a couple more cameras so that you don't have shitty camera angles.
No, but like this replay thing needs to be expanded. It needs to be expanded yesterday. Like New York has to be able to fix blatant calls. There's another one I want to talk about in the I mean it's all the way in the fucking Tennessee Titan game, but it's no, I'll talk about it now because I'm gonna forget.
Honestly,
and that game is
the
so
Dolphin game
it's
right
so
now.
what an awful game. We just skipped to that one real quick. Titans, Dolphins bad. Mason Rudolph came in and threw 17 passes for 85 yards, and then the Titans just kind of won. I watched like a surprising amount of this game. They just won. Nothing else interesting happened.
Most of it,
thank God another game was happening during
that time. No, I gave up quickly on this game. But the reason I want to bring it up is there was a fumble recovery, and the person who recovered the fumble picked it up quickly and free line down the field. Like he had 70 yards, and he was the only one that even like realized it was a fumble, and he picked up the ball and he was gone. And the play wasn't whistled dead. That's another key thing is that like I'm pretty sure it wasn't whistled dead. That the rest of that thing where they were like, I don't know, was that a fumble? I don't fucking know. Was it? And then they whistled it like 3 seconds later. So it wasn't a case of the whistle stopping anyone from stopping him to get to the end zone. But basically, like he should have scored a touchdown. But they just they whistled it dead and went, well, I guess it's not a fumble. And then they just reviewed it, and he gets the ball on the 30-yard line, even though he clearly was going to score a touchdown. That's kind of like important. Like I think there needs to be a like unobstructed, clear evidence review where if like something like that happens and the person was clearly going to score or even just get a bunch of yards, they need to give them something else, like whether it's a boost of yards or just give them the touchdown. I don't know, but
I don't think you could give them the touchdown.
He would have got like he was 100% scoring. Like
that's the thing though. In the NFL, you never know, right? Because we've all seen guys who are like have a clear path to the end zone and then like drop it just a second before or like do a front flip and throw the ball out of the end zone.
Right, but those are like one in a large amount of plays.
But that's what I mean. That's why you can't give a guaranteed touchdown. I wouldn't be opposed to what you're saying about adding yards though, because I think it is stupid when the refs blow a play dead.
But like, I mean, use AI if you want and be like, okay, the AI determined that you would have got this far or you would have
I
gotten a
hope not.
touchdown.
Please don't
Honestly,
speak
like,
that evil into the
no,
world.
that's a situation where like maybe not even AI, but just let's call it computer calculation might actually like be beneficial because like it's such a close game. People say football's a game of inches, and if we let these entire 70-yard swings happen because one referee blew his whistle too early, like that's kind of unacceptable when you think about it. Like,
Yeah, no, I
it
think
completely
that
can
should
change a game.
I think there should be some yards, but I think also, yeah, the touchdown. I think you can't ever just award a free technical touchdown. You know,
What if they like kept running and walked into the end zone or like ran into the end zone and then you know what I mean?
Like,
Like,
that's
what
why
if
a lot of people do that if like a situation happens.
Because like it's just we gotta have like anyone with common sense would have been like, yeah, that would have been a touchdown. So like if we can all agree common sense says it's a touchdown, then I think a panel of like NFL reviewers who have all the angles in front of them can review it and be like, yeah, that's a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still wouldn't award a touchdown that didn't happen. You know what I mean? I would never do
But
a
it did.
technical.
It like it
Yeah.
did happen.
Yeah.
Again, I agree that there's some weird ones where you know maybe there's a defender chasing and it's up in the air whether or not he would have got there.
the other thing about when the plays go dead is that some players can hear the whistle while others don't. So like some players let up while others don't. So like you can't really simulate what they would have done if they didn't let up, if they didn't hear the whistle. You know what I mean?
For sure, and
like,
that's why video review might be better than like calculation because like again like this specific play that I bring it up because
no, I've seen that kind of thing before.
He
too.
was gone, like he was long gone.
No, that's happened to the Jets before, where they took back like a huge.
I think it happens. The only reason I'm bringing it up so fervently is it happens way more often than you think. Like the refs blowing a play day. Yeah. Like we say, like let the play out, and I think if a ref like this should be a rule for refs. If they see a fumble that might have happened, do not whistle the play. Assume it was a fumble, even if it wasn't, because the worst case scenario is you're going to waste a little bit of time. But like otherwise,
that's similar to the touchdown rule, right? Like where it's always reviewed no matter what.
Yeah, like
kind of thing,
and you don't even need to signal touchdown and get everyone excited from it. Like just be like let them run to the other end of the field. If he gets into the end zone, then we'll be like, okay, we're gonna review this. Okay, it's a touchdown. It was a fumble.
Yeah, I would be cool with that too. But then also for devil's advocate for that one, what if somebody gets injured on a play like that where it's like clearly not a fumble?
People get injured in practice. Like
totally, but it would just feel shitty if like it was a fumble that they were doing just because it was part of the rule that they just kind of.
I think that's also like a low
game at that point.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Anyway, this game was awful. Otherwise,
it was terrible. It was just two bad teams. That
I think there was like a safety into an onside kick, onside kick. That's cool. That's rare.
That is pretty
Dude,
cool,
onside kicks are fucking gone now.
They're gone, and this needs to be also on like the plate for these obnoxious owners to fix because it is so uninteresting watching a team try to come back when they have to get an onside kick.
Yeah, it's just you can't do it. Like
there's been one successful one so far this year. You're right, and it already was pretty dependent on a lucky bounce, but it was pretty much entirely because of a lucky bounce.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with like onside. It was just Zay Flowers fucked and he did not catch the ball he should have caught. Like they did another one right after. They did the same thing, and he caught it easily because that's what he should have done the first time.
Like just make it 4th and 30. Like just anything.
Straight up. I don't care how many yards you make it. 4th and 30, 4th and 50. Let them throw a play.
Basically, the only rule is it just needs to be high risk, high reward kind of thing, right? Like that's it. You just need something for a team to be able to come back. But
we've seen already several times this year so many last minute lateral plays that are so much more fun and interesting than a kick.
And getting closer, they're like designing the shit out of those lateral plays now. You can tell they're practicing them too.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I'd say like make it like super sudden death. Like put it like 4th and 15 on like the 20, like your own 20.
Yeah.
That way, if you fuck it up, the team gets a free field goal or even like a free touchdown.
Yeah.
I think that's what the Schiano proposal is like. I think you're at the 25 or something, and it's like a 4th and 30, and then
that's like kind of the equivalent of pulling your goalie too. Like it's got like the same kind of risk reward situation.
Yeah. I think people are gonna be really apprehensive about it because how many times have we seen someone like Mahomes complete like a 4th and 15 or 3rd and 15 or something? Like it's literally all the time. Not to mention penalties too. Like I would be annoyed watching a 4th and 15 like onside attempt, and it's like,
and it's another thing.
Interference.
It's another thing that favors the offense
for 5 yards, and then automatically gives them the free drive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
so maybe no penalties allowed.
That would be fucked up. People would be eye gouging and fucking grabbing nuts.
Maybe you make it to where you can't get an automatic first down. Like if it is holding for 5 yards, you try again.
Yeah, do it again. Yeah.
I mean, they would probably still hold, but like you'd like I don't know.
Yeah. That might incentivize players to hold actually on certain. Like if you're the defense in a.
I would rather there be a chance. That's more of an issue. Of penalties need to be fixed more than that idea is bad.
Yeah,
but there needs to be something. Something needs to get into the game so that teams can come back.
Yeah.
Make onside kick 2 guys. You just gotta kick it 10 yards, but then it's only 2 guys trying to get the ball.
Biggest guys and have them sock it out in the middle of the field. Whoever wins gets the ball.
You gotta have all the onside kick players have to be your linemen, and the guy kicking the ball also has to be a lineman.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not to make another hockey comparison, but let them duke it out. Fuck it, right? Yeah. Get some steam out.
I'm down.
Also, back to the Cowboys game. Cowboys are bad. So anyway, then we had the we covered that. So now we got
Panthers.
Bengals Panthers, which honestly was a pretty decent game up until the Bengals pulled away at the end.
It's
like it was close.
Not Joe. It's we're back to Bryce Young being bad again because Andy Dalton had another relatively decent showing on this Panthers team.
I remember, seeing one of those scoring drives and just thinking to myself, like, Young could never. Like, as much as I hate to say it, he can't do this.
Feels like the whole NFL football universe has conspired to just kick Bryce Young in the nuts over and over again.
Dude, it's not like it sucks.
Because
he's not good enough, and he's not big enough, and he's not tall enough. Like, some people can't do it, man. It doesn't matter if you got drafted first.
Yeah. It'll be interesting too with him because surely I think at this point it's pretty clear that his future in the NFL, if it exists, is not with the Panthers, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
so like,
I wonder. Redemption art. I'm cheering for you, dude. Still for sure, absolutely.
When you get drafted that high, you have the talent. You know, like he's got stuff.
I gotta wonder, like, how was he so misevaluated? Because he looks like we've seen quarterbacks drafted in like the 4th or 5th round that have looked better than him.
Yeah.
So how did he get to 1st overall pick? Like that's got to be
Anthony Bennett situation, dude.
I think we should also consider the coaching situation in Carolina, right? Because when you have a guy like Andy Dalton's been around. He doesn't need a coach to tell him how to throw the football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like whereas Bryce Young pretty much does, right? He does need those kinds of mentors that could really tell him how to throw the football in the NFL. Like Andy Dalton's, he's been to the playoffs. He almost won MVP. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. Like coach says, here's the play, go throw it, you know?
Yeah.
But like Bryce Young, he probably is in more of a situation that, you know, maybe Jared Goff could have been, you know, like how Jared Goff was with McVay, calling out the protections before the thing. Maybe this coach isn't doing that for Bryce Young, and maybe he needs that, you know?
He definitely needs something.
Yeah.
Like he needs to just go somewhere else and sit and just like learn from like an actual coaching staff at this point. Cause like it's not looking too good here. Cause like, Chuba Hubbard ran for 104 and a touchdown. Like Deontay Johnson, 83 yards and a touchdown. He got me like 20 fantasy points this week. He had a really good touchdown. Xavier Legette, the rookie, also had a good one. Like the Panthers with Andy Dalton look like an actual football team.
Yeah.
So it's like they can win games,
man. Like I believed after I saw Dalton lead him that first game. Like that was incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Bengals, they needed to win this one. Like this was, if they lost this, they went 0-4, and like I don't think the Bengals are bad enough to be 0-4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this was just I think the Bengals were a better team, and they just had to put it all out there, and they did. So it's still
season somewhat saved, but still not looking great.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, technically possible to make the playoffs. I mean, and again, it's the Bengals, so
Yeah,
anybody's going to do it.
Well, then we had the Falcons Saints.
Falcons stole one, dude.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Game-winning kick from Younghoe Koo.
The longest he's ever made. What was it, like 58 or something?
Yeah, he was like 58.
Yeah,
It was a long one.
58.
And he was already 3 for 3 in the game. So yeah, 58 to make it 4 for 4.
Yeah.
Man, imagine having
Won my
a kicker on
fantasy
your
game.
team. Wouldn't that be crazy? Guy that can make field goals.
I would know nothing about that. I don't have the kicker with the highest percentage made field goals over 50 on my team, so I wouldn't know what that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Taysom Hill sighting, by the way. Speaking of Apollo's fantasy team,
Yeah, I should have started him over
carries.
Kyle fucking Pitts.
Yeah.
Let's see, hold on. Let me bring up my fantasy and let me give you guys the difference.
Oh yeah,
between
doesn't
these
Taysom
two
Hill?
teams.
He counts tight
He
end,
counts
doesn't he?
Quarterback, tight end.
He counts tight end.
I
So
think at
let's.
one point he was counting for a third
He
role.
also left the game with an injury.
He did, but Taysom Hill, 14.40 points.
Wow.
Right. Kyle Pitts, how many points do you guys think? 0. It's 0. He had
Yeah,
0
no,
points.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that pain with Mark Andrews in that tight end slot, dude. I am
Yeah.
regretting that early pick.
Well,
Dude.
my tight end got injured, and so I picked up L. Schoonamaker.
Oh yeah. Old
Schoonamaker, of course. One of the
Yeah.
classic.
Everybody loves L. Schoonamaker.
Yep.
I remember now. I'm double fucked because if I picked Kyle Pitts over Mark Andrews, so I would have picked Mark Andrews, and I would have been screwed anyway. So.
Yeah. Dude, Travis Kelce, first rounder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been doing great, right?
Yeah, just
think if
now
anything,
he's
4
no
weeks
Rashee
in-
Rice.
4 weeks in,
Rack
we're
of
all
points.
proving that Yahoo was actually pretty accurate about our draft analysis.
Yeah.
No,
Actually, not mine.
no. I'm owning actually now.
Yahoo gave
I
me
have
a
this-
D.
All right.
Yeah.
I have the second highest total points in the whole league. So
Yeah,
No.
after giving me a D on 3 straight weekly reports, it gave me an A. So a little fucky there, Yahoo. You're trying to.
No, you're 4 points ahead of me. All right. Yeah. You know, I guess
I'm
we're
also
doing-
3-1.
Nice. I got beat by Bear this
I
week.
can't hear you from all the way down there. So yeah, this is a battle of also like older quarterbacks doing really mediocre.
Yeah.
Like Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins had almost similar stat lines: 28 of 36 for 239 and 21 of 35 for 238. 0 touchdowns each, 1 interception each.
Yeah. They even have the same about average per attempt too.
Yeah.
6.8 versus 6.6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these teams are both very appropriately 2-2, and this was the crash down after the eruption out of the gate from the Saints that I think was pretty expectable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Saints also fumbled a botched kick, and the Falcons picked it up and scored. So
Yeah.
that was one of the ways they scored a touchdown.
Alvin Kamara still got it though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Alvin
dude.
Kamara's still good. But yeah, overall, I mean, this was just a classic NFC South game, and it was decided on the final play of the game, which
Yep.
it's expected. So, classic 2-2.
Yep.
Actually, are the Buccaneers 3-1? Are they at the
Yep.
top? Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
Here you go. Cool. So then we had oh god, I lost it. Jaguars Texans. Oh boy.
Oy, oy, oy.
Jesus Christ, Jacksonville.
This game was literally there for them to win. Like,
They absolutely had it in the bag and
Yeah.
then just shit the bed again.
yeah, they're the only 0-4 team now.
Yep.
They're
That's
just
And
wild.
they deserve it because they've lost every game by their own, like they've shot themselves in the foot continuously.
yeah. I saw a post by somebody that showed the Jaguars and the Bills running the exact same play and how much better the Bills executed it versus the Jaguars just being like,
I also
what's
saw
going
that.
on?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I want to
It's-
see that now.
Yeah, it's just, what are they doing? They have to change something. Like, they have to change their coach. It feels like Trevor Lawrence has no confidence. Like,
Yeah.
it's just bad. Like, they don't even have bad players, I don't think. Like, it has to be a coaching thing.
This, for the last 3 or 4 years, has been projected to be a team that does well. Like, everyone thought this year would be no different. Like, they had high expectations for them, despite the fact that they had a slump at the end of last year. This was not at all in the cards.
It's, you know what? It feels like Doug Peterson is just like an old school type of coach that's just he almost reminds me of Mike McCarthy in a way. And like, they don't need a Mike McCarthy. They need like somebody that actually is good at play design and coaching.
It's time for them to reach out and find someone new, for sure.
Yeah. And like Trevor Lawrence, it almost feels like he's getting Carson Wentz at this point. You know, like they're just like, here's this guy, he's good, and he's doing all right, and like, and it feels like he's just gonna start going down that path.
mean, Carson Wentz, I feel like had more impressive statistical seasons too, when he was at his height.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, it's.
I really feel like we are approaching a very significant turning point in the NFL where a lot of older coaches or just like older play styles are going to start looking bad. Because I mean, looking at what like Ben Johnson is doing with the Lions is like it just looks so fresh. I mean, you see what Mike McDaniel was doing with the Dolphins and how successful that was.
We see the Packers with Malik Willis just fucking taking him and plugging him in.
Yeah, like there are new, not new like entirely new strategies, but just new mentalities that are starting to creep in, and those are the offenses that have looked like the best in recent years. So I really hope that teams that are searching for new head coaches, Jags, Giants, Jets, I hope we go and we look for new coaches with new ideas, because that's where we're headed, I think.
God, I wish, but we'll probably get Adam Gase Part 2.
It seems like a lot of the new coaching style, like Shanahan, LaFleur, all that, they use motion to figure out what the defense is doing, and so
it's a lot of motion.
Yeah, it's a lot of.
But
motion.
It's also they've been doing. It's kind of like the Shanahan thing, as far as I know, is like a zone run West Coast scheme. I don't know what Mike McDaniel's running exactly.
His is also so much pre-snap motion and so much like it's what Tyler Huntley couldn't handle basically. He like his that offense is just so complex. Like, people give Tua a lot of shit, but he runs one of the hardest offenses to run. Like, as a quarterback, like the non-throwing parts, like just the call outs and reading and things like that.
Yeah, because the Packers actually stole a lot of the Dolphins plays. Like, they're at least once a game, they're like, he took this out of the McDaniels playbook. But it feels like we also run it better, because I think we're just more well coached. And even like Malik Willis being able to come in and do all that, still like surprising. But I think the Dolphins, even right now, like McDaniel's kind of not doing great. Although,
his team's been injured every year.
It's pretty rough,
I don't know.
He does kind of have a little bit of a Shanahan, pre-success thing going on, right?
I don't think he's a bad coach still. I think he's an all right coach still.
He's not on my list of like coaches that should be worrying. Like,
I think he's still fine.
I actually, he's so right now, if the Jets wanted to hire any ex-Dolphins coach, if it were him, I wouldn't be necessarily opposed. Although we'll see if he ever gets fired, why he gets fired. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, if you're the Jaguars, you would take him in a heartbeat.
Dude, well, I mean, to your guys' point though, the thing that is, like, we've talked about this before, is the coaching pool thing, but also there has been kind of mixed success with pulling from college more lately. I mean, you have like huge flameouts like Urban Meyer, for instance.
Well, that's its own thing.
But then you have like, I don't know, I think you could call someone like Cliff Kingsbury a kind of mixed success a little.
I think some of them are better at coordinating than they are at being a coach.
Yeah, I mean, ideally you would have a guy come out as from a head coach in college and become a coordinator, but most guys wouldn't want to do that. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah, but Texans got out of this one. I mean, that's what good teams do. They win these games, and they did it. And bad teams find ways to lose, and they did. They sure did.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how the Jaguars handle this going forward. Probably not well. Speaking of handling things not well, the New York Jets.
Great segue.
Yeah.
This was one of those games that was so bad I never saw it on Red Zone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Raining. Well, let me forget Red Zone. Hold on. just for a second. Let's just, because I watched at least part of this game fully alone, right? Like, because that's what I do with Jets games is I just pop it on the main screen,
I said,
and I watch
fully
the whole
alone.
thing.
Like you're in the dark.
Yeah. Well, that actually was true too, to be honest. I was eating an open can of tuna with a spoon.
There were frozen TV dinners in a stack on the couch behind me.
Yeah, I just want to set the setting, you know what I mean? But no, but there was not a first down between either team for 14 minutes. 14 fucking almost the entire first quarter. And then it was Aaron Rodgers managed one, thankfully. And then I think immediately it was
right.
gone.
Also, I can't help but see the Jets had 13 penalties.
Dude, you okay, so on
15 punts
on one of those drives that in those 14 minutes, we had 2 false starts on the same down. Second down, false start. All right, fine. 5 yards back. Let's line up again. All right. False start. What are you are you guys playing around? What's going on? Like, what's good? What's happening? You know, so
Denver Broncos winning quarterback Bo Nix with a stat line of 12 for 25 for 60 yards and a touchdown.
Yep. Yeah.
At one point, Bo Nix's first half stats were like -7 yards.
Yeah, he had -7
7
yes,
passes.
he did. Yes, he did. And we couldn't beat that, baby, because that's Nathaniel Hackett. Nathaniel Hackett offensive football.
I love it.
You know what? I understand what happened. It's a simple misunderstanding, and it's perfectly fair, and we shouldn't judge him for it. But he was offered the role of offensive coordinator, and most guys think that means you're running the offense.
Right.
He thought that meant that he needed to play game plan a game in such a way that it would be offensive to watch. That's what happened. And that's the confusing.
It's funny because
Look,
I didn't
tried,
know if
right?
Rob was going to go that pet or be like, I think he's using dark magic.
I mean,
it could have been either way.
It could be, yeah. I mean, I might still get into that, honestly. So,
I can't help but see that the Jets tried running the ball and could not run the ball.
Oh, dude. Let me explain the Jets running the ball. The Jets running the ball is, hey, Breece Hall is averaging 0.4 yards per carry. Why don't we, I don't know, try running him up the A-gap? Oh, that didn't work? Okay, how about we run him up the A-gap? Hey, did you guys hear about running into the A-gap with Breece Hall? We have a power back. His name is Braylon Allen, and if you look at the stat line, he did pretty well on average yards per carry, and we just refuse to do so, especially on short yardage packages. Put Braylon Allen in. I don't know why.
I got take the L on that one, Rob. I called down on the red phone and I begged him to send Breece Hall in so I could win the fantasy game against
son
you.
Of a bitch. Well, he did very poorly.
He did have a terrible game.
It's literally his worst game he's ever played.
I was very curious about this because I saw that Cortland Sutton was the only Broncos receiver with more than 3 yards receiving in the game.
That's a big one, yep.
So I looked through the plays of the game. There were 2 completions to Cortland Sutton, 1 for 23 and 1 for 29 yards. If you take those out of Bo Nix's stats for the game, his final stat line was 10 completions for 8 yards and a touchdown. It's just
he also ran for 3.
Completely absurd that was enough to win this game. I mean, like those 2 plays didn't even make they one of them did eventually lead to the Broncos' lone touchdown drive. So that's admittedly a big part of their success for this one. But otherwise, that other one really didn't lead to anything. It just was another punt afterwards. So it's just crazy how little the Jets were able to do comparatively.
Robert Saleh is not a a real coach. He's not a real person.
He's not human.
I'm convinced that he is Woody Johnson has created an android. I think Robert Saleh is filled with milk.
Yep.
And you know, there was some press conference shit. Well, you know,
alien.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Yep.
Yeah, androids are that's what their blood is milk.
Sorry, my bad.
But anyway. Yeah, no, I there was some clapbacks between Robert Saleh and Aaron Rodgers in the press conferences after. Yep. So that was, hey boys, we're back with Jets football.
Yeah, I did see Aaron Rodgers getting annoyed because he was like, we got to dial back the cadence on offense. But if
that's
there's
what
one thing,
Saleh said. Yeah,
yeah, if there's one thing I've known about watching Aaron Rodgers for half my life, it's that the cadence is Aaron Rodgers' favorite part of like football, like the Green 18.
Yeah. And he's really good at it.
Yeah. That's like how he discovers what the defense is doing. It's like how you throw them off sides. Like there's so many things to it. And then Saleh's like, we got to dial that back a little bit. And so Aaron Rodgers said that's one way to do it. The other way is to hold them accountable.
Yeah. Well, speaking of dark magics too, I think it's entirely believable that Rodgers is out there like casting a shamanic curse on the enemy with the way that he's uttering those guttural growls.
Mm-hmm. It's spellcraft. No, but like actually on the double false start play, it was a hard count thing, which it's just it's like Saleh comes out in the press conference after and he's like, yeah, well maybe we should make Rodgers not do, you know, one of the things he's most famous for. Yeah. Instead of like getting the offense doing your job and getting the offensive line to understand the hard count considering it's Rodgers' thing.
Yeah,
but you know,
I'm starting to not think Robert Saleh is very good now. Like last year, I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt, like, but now I'm like, yeah.
I stopped all of the benefit of the doubt last year. That was when he was like, you know, blowing smoke up everybody's ass, being like Zach Wilson is a bird, you know, like all this other shit. It's just, and the thing is, if you watch the Jets games, if you watch them, you know, firsthand,
I don't.
Yeah, well, good. You shouldn't, honestly.
Yep.
But if you did, you would see that you know how like coaches on the sidelines, they're calling plays and they got the sign over their mouth so that people can't see what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
When they cut to Robert Saleh, there's nothing. He's just standing there. He's usually like either kind of smirking or just kind of got like a little bit of a frown. If the defense does something, he'll go run down the sideline and like chest bump people.
Yeah, I think he's practically just a former defensive player that's cheering on the defense, and then he's like, offense. What the the hell?
Yeah, no, like really, like he just doesn't seem to do much of anything. So yeah, it's fun. Jets fan, being a Jets fan. Love it. Good times.
We're back, baby.
Yeah, bitch.
Like we never left.
Well, I mean, luckily for the Jets next week, they get to play the Vikings.
In London. Dude, Darnold is going to destroy this team, and we deserve it. And it's going to be, in a way, cathartic to watch.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
for you.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings, Green Bay Packers.
Oh, boy.
Woo-hoo.
This was a game. This actually was a good game. It came down to. So let me tell you how this one started. Game opened up with Sam Darnold throwing a terrible pass and it getting dropped by our defender, which really set the tone for the day of just dropping an easy interception. Then Sam Darnold went on to just shred the Packer defense, throwing 3 touchdowns, and just some of those passes were like insane. Now, I will say the offensive line is holding up insanely well for the Vikings. Like, we got 0 pressure. Like, I can't even think of the first half. I think Darnold had like 10 seconds to throw every play. Like, you may as well just not even rush anybody. You just like sat back. Like, it was. I didn't realize their offensive line was that good. I always remember it being bad. So I don't know what they did, Vikings people, but your offensive line is much better. Plus, Aaron Jones is very good still. Who would have guessed? 93 yards rushing on 22 carries. He also had 46 yards receiving. That didn't surprise me because Aaron Jones is good. But yeah, it was 28-0. And then the Packers finally got a touchdown because the Viking player botched the punt and we recovered it in the end zone. But apparently you can't, or we recovered it like the 4, but you can't recover a botched punt and take it into the end zone for some reason. So we recovered it and they're like, nope, you're at the 4. So then we tried to score a touchdown. And we got it down at the 1, but it looked like Dobbs might have had the touchdown. And then they just didn't review it. They were like, yeah, we're not going to look at that, even though it's a potential scoring play. Like, eh. And so LaFleur was like losing it. He wanted to call a timeout, and then they just didn't give him the timeout. Like, you can see him walk and be like, timeout. And the referee just looks over and then just looks away, and he's just like, timeout. And then he like goes onto the field and he like takes his headset off and he's like screaming. His face is red. He's like, give me the fucking timeout. And then the refs are like, whoa, you walked onto the field. That's a 15-yard penalty. So he was fucking going insane. And the announcers are like, yeah, they should have given him the timeout. And it's like, no shit. And instead, they back him up 15 yards. But then Jordan Love actually made a really good throw to Jaden Reed. And he got the touchdown. It was a really good one. And then we go to the second half, and it was just the Packers like woke up. It wasn't even like a Vikings prevent defense, because a lot of people would be like, oh, the Packers scored like 28 points. Like the Vikings were still playing normal defense. It's just, I think Jordan Love was like rusty in the first half. Like, I think his knee hurt. I think he hadn't played football in like 3 weeks in like a realistic setting. And you could kind of tell he was like, his throws were kind of off. Even post game, I listened and he was like, yeah, I was missing a lot of stuff. Like, you could tell, but then like something clicked, and he's already like a very like streaky type of thrower. Like, once he gets going, he's like insane. Like he has to catch fire. And once he does, he's like rolling. And so once he did, like, he was making great throws. There's like one to Wicks. It was really good. But then there was one play. There's a couple plays. So one of them, he rolled out and threw like a bomb to Wicks, and then it was just like he didn't have enough time because he was getting blitzed, and then it got picked off in the end zone. That was a bad play. One of them, we got unlucky. He threw it, and it was like a bad route, and it got tipped once, tipped twice, and then the Viking guy picked it off, which was just like just the way the game was going. And then we actually were like down by 6. And we were like, all right, here we go. We're going to roll down, get a touchdown, maybe take the lead. And Tucker Kraft, the tight end, fumbled it. And we had 5 turnovers this game, by the way. 5 turnovers and field goals. 0 for 2. Man.
Yeah, the fact that was the case and y'all were still within 2 points here is honestly remarkable.
Yeah.
Like, it really was a tale of two halves. Like, the Packers, this felt like such a shoot themselves in the foot game. Like, just turning the ball over 5 times, missing 2 field goals, like just penalties. Like, they had 8 penalties still, and we still only lost by 2 against, I would consider the Vikings a top 5 team
at this point. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so the defense picked it up in the second half. They picked off Darnold. They strip sacked Darnold. They finally got through. It's like the Vikings offense actually slowed down a lot, and they weren't even like playing conservative run pass or anything. Like, they were still trying to play and make some plays. And so they ended up getting like 1 field goal, which turns out when you make field goals, it's pretty important in a game decided by 2 points. So This was honestly the thing that surprised me the most with the Vikings was their defense. Like the way they play defense, which sounds weird, but like Brian Flores, they run this heavy blitz type of confusing scheme. And when you watch him play, which I guess you'll watch next week with the Jets, it's like things you don't normally see, which I see was why they beat CJ Stroud and like some of these younger quarterbacks so easily. Like, they'll line up with an all-out blitz, and you're like, holy shit. And then they just drop 5 guys back. And then they do it again, and then they like blitz with 3 of those 5. And then they do it again, and then they blitz with all 5. And it's just like, if you're a young quarterback, you're just like, what the shit is happening? So like, even if you're a veteran quarterback, you're still like, I don't know what's happening. Like, they run, and you have to have such a well-trained coach defense to even pull that off, like drop back and hit like the right spots where you're supposed to be and stuff like that, and still like they run a really confusing defense, and they're actually pulling it off, which I think is one of the reasons they are 4-0. Even though like obviously the offense is doing good, but like Sam Darnold is there to be like, hey, just don't do anything bad. Throw it to Jefferson and Addison, and like that's all you got to do.
No, Darnold is the NFL's touchdown receiver, leading.
He's the touchdown receiver right now.
Yeah, he's not even just like holding it down. He's fucking destroying people.
Dude, I want to talk about Justin Jefferson for a second though, because it is so fucking fun to have like a Randy Moss caliber receiver in the league, and I really feel like he's, if not there already, he's approaching it. There was a catch at near the end of the second quarter. I think it was the Vikings' 4th touchdown.
Yeah, it was the back shoulder.
Oh, dude, it was so beautiful.
It didn't even look like he caught it. It just fell into him.
Props to Darnold for like putting that on the fucking money. Like he hit him in the chest with that thing. But Jefferson made it look so effortless to just like cradle it. Like it looked like it was magnetically drawn into his chest, and he just brought it in, took his left arm and threw the fucking cornerback off him, and then hit the gritty in the end zone. Like this dude is the guy in the league, and it's so fucking fun to watch him play. And I really hope he doesn't get hurt again, because goddamn, is he good.
They showed the stat during the game, that the most yards in the first 5 seasons or whatever. So he's in the category of Jerry Rice and Randy Moss and all those. It's something like 6,000 plus.
Yeah,
I remember
balling the fuck out, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
Also, Kevin O'Connell, good coach.
Yep, it seems so. Yeah.
Yeah, he's and he's another McVay guy. He came from the Rams, so he's not like old school McVay. But
Darnold's got 11 touchdowns. By the way, do you know who's got the second most touchdowns in the league?
Oh, Jaden Daniels.
Nope.
Brock Purdy.
Nope.
Oh, is that Baker Mayfield?
That's right.
Yeah.
Baker's got 8, and Darnold's got 11. That's
nice. I will say it's pretty
draft class.
It's pretty funny. Jordan Love's only played 2 games, but he's tied for 5th with 6 touchdowns.
That's wild,
So this one, in fact, Jordan Love, I thought he actually played good the second half of the game. This reminded me so much of Brett Favre. It's kind of weird. Just this was the most Brett Favre stat line I've seen, of just 4 touchdowns, 3 picks for like almost 400 yards. And it's like, I remember I remember growing up, like watching Packer games. They would like, he'd come out and look rusty, and then they'd go to halftime, he'd come out and throw like 4 touchdowns. But then like the next game, he'd throw like 4 picks. And you're like, oh, okay. But I do think Jordan Love's better than that. I also think he's a better person than that, so that's also good. But I'm not worried about Jordan Love. I'm mainly hoping his knee feels all right. But I think, honestly, this was just, I think, a good football game. I can't talk. It was a good football game. I think both these teams are playoff teams, and so I think it was just a good game.
Yeah.
So, yippee!
Woohoo!
Darnold season.
Yeah.
It does remain Darnold season.
Yep.
Speaking of good games.
Oh, this is fun. We get to experience y'all's losses in a nice little spring
all
here.
in a consecutive streak here. Colts Steelers.
God, there's a lot I want to say, but I also don't want to. I don't want to be here for 2 hours. I'll do mini rants for each individual topic I want to talk about. First one is I thought the Steelers had escaped I don't want to say bad coaching in the sense that I think the coaches are all just straight up bad, but it's the thing that makes these coaches not perfect, which is we come into games and we look like we just didn't prepare at all. We look surprised that a football game is occurring. Like I locked this game because in my head I was like, this is the time for us to show that we're a good team, like and have a confident win. And I was worried about a close loss. And I know the score to this game is close, but the game wasn't as close, I feel like, as the score implies. But what's frustrating is that we came in and they made our defense, our number 1 in the league defense, look like paper. And this is not a particularly good Colts offense. Anthony Richardson has looked bad. He's not looked particularly good besides week 1.
Oh yeah, he got hurt.
He also got hurt, and we made Joe Flacco look like he was 20 years younger than he actually is.
I was honestly shocked that Joe Flacco was still playing. I couldn't believe it.
I mean, he got the Browns to the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like what happened to this defense. Like again, the only way that I can explain it is just a complete like it's like we didn't know we were playing the Colts. It's like we had a game plan for an entirely different team and it just didn't work because it was the wrong team. Like that's what it felt like. So I don't know what happened. Like there was a criticism by one of the Steelers players who said specifically like our practice lacked detail. And I feel like that is a key kind of descriptor of like what could have gone wrong here in that like the Steelers, do they just practice like they're playing any old team every week? Because we have been the kings of playing down to our opponents ever since we were like good. Like even when we had like Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, and we had that incredible offense and we were a really strong team, we still did the same shit. We would go up against a team we should win, and I would say win easily against if our defense was as good as we were saying it was. And then we lose the game and we look horrible doing it. The only reason this game is a 1-score game is because Justin Fields was like, I'm going to carry this team. Like he had one bad mistake that like was only kind of his fault. Like he fumbled and he gave the ball away, but he had 2 free rushers in his face. So like, no wonder, you get 2 free rushers in your face, you're going to make a mistake. But like he 312 yards, a touchdown. He also rushed for 55 and 2 touchdowns. Like Justin Fields was the only one who played this game.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I don't know why the defense looked so bad. And I'm sitting here going, what are you guys doing? Did you not expect Jonathan Taylor to be Jonathan Taylor? Like, did you not expect? I don't know. It's frustrating. Also, there was some ref ball, but I'm not even going to blame the ref ball. Like there was a really bad call on Minkah Fitzpatrick, but other than that, I think the league actually like I think there's a news thing that says Mike Tomlin called the league and they said, yeah, whoopsie, our bad. That was a bad call. I think Mike Tomlin's the only one that can do that because he's like on the rules committee, so he can be like, hey, you better apologize for this. But yeah, it's just an all around bad game, and I'm now in the position where I'm going to say something that I think will maybe make Steelers fans a little mad because people might call this an overreaction. I think our season's on the line this week. I actually think this upcoming Dallas game, our season is on the line. And the reason I say that is because I've said 100 times on this damn podcast, our schedule is fucking awful. Like this is the easy part of our schedule. We should be going 4-0-5-0. Like this is the easy section of our schedule. We're going to hit a absolute gauntlet of divisional games and hard opponents after the bye week. So if we aren't like 7-1 going into that or whatever it is, we could easily, I think, like miss the playoffs, even with a like decentish record. Like if we go in like 5-3, like I don't have high hopes for a playoff run at that point because the schedule is just that bad. So we're also going up against a heavily injured Dallas team with 2 of their star defensive players out. So we should have a much easier time on offense. And we supposedly should have the number 1 defense. I don't know where that went, but maybe it comes back. So
Dallas also can't run the ball.
Dallas also has no run game, but because of that, I'm going to start my Dallas running back who's going to get me like 40 points because nothing makes sense. And I can't lose, I can lose if Ezekiel Elliott that gets all the rushing yards and not Rico Dowdle.
Yeah.
But
you just lose in a literal sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking back, I think Rob was going to pick the Colts, then we talked him out of it.
Yeah, he was going to say
you
were really mad about it.
You're right. I remember that now.
No, I mean, this was the way that I could not see us losing. I could have seen us losing like 14-10 or like 10-7 if our offense didn't do anything, but it actually did some stuff. It took a while. It took the second half, but yeah, I don't know what happened to our defense so that it lost to Joe fucking Flacco. That's crazy, man.
He's the elite dragon. That's all it is.
Dude,
He is somehow the most overrated player in football, even though he's not good. It's wild to me. Like he came in for Cleveland last year and just went, I'm going to throw the ball every play, no matter what. And if it works, it works. And then it just kind of worked for a little bit, and everyone was like, "Whoa, it's Joe Flacco, he's crazy." And then a good team showed up in the Texans, and then suddenly he threw like 4 interceptions or whatever it was in that playoff game because you can't just throw the ball willy-nilly like that.
Well,
And I think he did that again here. He just went like, "I'm gonna fucking throw it and fuck you." And the Steelers went, "Whoa, you can't do that."
Yeah, sorry, go on.
I was gonna say a lot of this is the product of the way the NFL is, where like it's very like tailored towards stopping younger quarterbacks because there's so many of them, and now you get these veterans like Flacco and Dalton that come in. They're just like, oh yeah, let me just like shred this defense a little bit. And they're like, whoa, what the heck?
I also personally think that Joe Flacco is kind of a lot better. That like maybe he's not. I don't know. I feel like the past couple of years, Joe Flacco's played like the best football of his career.
Again, I think he's just hucking and chucking it, and I think that works sometimes. Like you will never win a playoff game or a Super Bowl doing that, but it'll randomly win you some games.
I don't know. He did win a Super Bowl.
He did.
He won a Super Bowl with one of the best defenses.
Yes.
Hang on.
But I think honestly I do think that Joe Flacco today, even though he's significantly older, is like way better than Joe Flacco that won the Super Bowl.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I agree with that because Joe Flacco did have a couple of decent years back then.
Yeah.
Well,
and this Joe Flacco is a kind of an old man corpse. I'm so fucking mad that we did not sack him 42 times. Like with TJ Watt, I mean, I think Highsmith and Nick Herbig were both out because injuries are destroying us. But that's why TJ didn't get a sack because he was held every play. I forgot about that. There's like a literal compilation of him getting held the whole game. And they just didn't. This is my other rant I wanted to do because this is not a TJ Watt specific problem. I watched Aiden Hutchinson get held a couple of times in the Lions game. I feel like it probably happens to Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons too. But I want I'm not a stats nerd, but I want someone to go look and see if players like TJ Watt, Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, if players like that have more holding penalties called against them than other edge rushers. Because my theory is that it's probably the same. I bet you they get called for holding equally, which doesn't make sense because you think they'd be called for it more. And I'm wondering, I don't think this is too conspiracy theory. I wonder if the game is broken if they do call holding on these really, really good edge rushers. Like if it would just be unwatchable.
About that before, haven't we? Like I swear we've had a conversation about the fact that obviously the general idea of they could call holding on every play is like kind of just a football staple, right? But like if the players are of that elite caliber, they're gonna get held a lot, and that would slow up the pace of the game. There's probably been conversations about it in back offices and like for the NFL of being like, we can't slow the game down to the pace that the rules currently dictate we should.
Yeah.
I think that's probably true too for guys who are really good.
Yeah, I feel like the NFL needs to figure out what it wants to be. Like if holding is this much of a problem, or do they just allow holding? Like what? Because it's not fun to watch any team. Like you have a holding call, and I think it's like you get annoyed because it's such a light call, and you're like, oh, that's so ticky tack. And then you watch someone. I won't even say TJ Watt. You watch like Myles Garrett get fucking literally like arm tackled around the neck, pulled back, and they don't call it. And it's like you can't have that kind of discrepancy. Like you have to be consistent.
Can I say something that is also kind of maybe conspiracy-ish?
Sure. Go for it.
It's not I think I think that it has to do with game situation. About like their level of what they consider, enough to throw a flag. And I think probably the NFL they probably, talk about that. So what I mean is like, if it's a really important, exciting game between two teams and there's a lot of viewers, there's probably a kind of call of like, play a little light on the calling the flags thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
whatever it is, whatever the reasoning is, it makes the game worse. The game is just effectively worse because these players should be getting like, how many sacks would a player like TJ Watt or some other star edge rusher get if they were called for holding every time? Like the teams would, like, they're holding for a reason. They're holding because they know they can get away with it. They wouldn't be doing it otherwise. Like if every holding ever was called, it would stop. People would stop holding.
Yeah. Well, it's the same on wide receivers. Well, it's well, I don't know. I think it's the same on like wide receivers and cornerbacks too. You know, where they're hand fighting all the time and they're always playing right at the edge of what it would be a penalty or what isn't. You know what I mean?
A lot of it also depends on the refs, because there's certain refs that will call it. Which, by the way, can we just have full-time referees, please?
Yeah,
we do that. It'd be great.
It's still bad. Nothing's gotten better. They all suck.
I do feel like, I mean, maybe this is, you know, just I'm seeing it wrong, but it feels like there are lower penalties overall.
I think there's been more penalties.
I think there's been more, brother.
Has there been?
The Thursday night game, the Giants Cowboys game, what's his name? The commentator was about to lose his mind. Al Michaels was
that was funny,
done with it.
Yeah, I mean the Jets game was horrible too, but
Dallas
they were
had
actually doing
11
penalties.
Accepted penalties, and those were just accepted penalties. Like there were so
Yeah.
many more that were declined.
It usually does get better as the season goes on, though, as teams like get everything ironed out and everything. Because usually the start of the season, it's essentially the preseason the first couple of weeks, because nobody actually plays in the preseason.
Yeah.
So I think it will get better, but then we had Bears Rams. So
I didn't see a lot of this game, to be honest.
I watched this on I had my Sunday ticket games up, so I had Packers, Bears, Jets, and Steelers, and then I swapped off the Steelers to a different game. And this game, so Caleb Williams went 17 of 23 for 157 and a touchdown. I see a lot of people being like, dude, he did pretty well. Okay. Like 40 of those yards are a screen pass to DeAndre Swift. All right. So really, for like actual passing, he threw for like 100 yards. This was another game of like, as long as they don't make him take any risky throws or throw the ball more than like 5 yards, he's looking pretty good. But every time he tries to throw a deep ball or something, it's just inaccurate. And it's like, it was the Rams, so like they could do it because for some reason, the Rams just didn't know how to score points in the red zone.
Well, everyone's dead.
That's true. Everyone is dead. Like the Rams had the ball for 3 more minutes than the Bears did. And Matt Stafford threw an end zone pick that was terrible that I believe got reverted. And then at the end of the game, he threw a terrible pick, which counted. So he has his 1 in, but he pretty much had 2 ins. Then for one of the Bears plays, they should have had a field goal instead of a touchdown, but they called pass interference on the guy guarding Keenan Allen. And then it was actually just good coverage. I don't know. It was like one of the worst calls of this game I saw. It was like the dude played like perfect coverage and they were just like, oh yeah, it's clear pass interference. I was like, that is not at all. And so they got a touchdown off of that, but like this game just kind of sucked. The Bears were finally able to run the ball, but again, against like the Rams, who were just like a shell of what they were because everybody's hurt. And it was just a boring game, and it was another classic like Bears defense wins them the game.
Dude, how the hell did the Rams beat the 49ers last week?
I don't know. It's divisional too.
Yeah, divisional at home, I guess. But Jesus Christ, I didn't know how that had that much power.
Yeah, like this game was pretty bad. So, and then the Bears, they're
still 2-2.
They are 2-2.
That division is like one of the best divisions in football, next to like the AFC West for some reason.
Yeah. The Bears are kind of like the Steelers, where they don't play a divisional game until November 17th. And then they play Packers, Vikings, Lions, 49ers, Vikings, Lions, Seahawks, Packers.
Hey, I've seen that before.
Yeah, so they got the gauntlet there at the end.
Yeah. Bears fans, take my advice as like your season's on the line too.
Yeah, pretty much.
You have to go into the gauntlet with a good record. You just do.
Yeah, because
you're not going to win all those games. Like, if you're not the best team in football, you're not going to go into a bunch of divisional and like top team gauntlet games and win them all.
Yeah, because I mean, coming up, they've got Panthers, Jaguars. Like, you have to win those.
Yep.
Then you have Commanders at this point.
That's a hard game.
I don't think they win that.
Yeah. Then Cardinals.
Commanders was one of my Steelers easy games that has now become that was the beginning of our gauntlet. I was like, okay, we have the bye week, and then we have the Commanders, which shouldn't be too bad, but could be bad, and now it's impossible. I'm gonna read it out loud again now because you've reminded it's Commanders, Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Browns, Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals. That's our second half of the season. That's insane.
Now the Bengals are a little easier, but they're still the Bengals at the end of the year.
It's
still divisional and stuff too.
Yeah, those are
that too.
Fucking Christ, man.
Yeah, and then the Bears have Cardinals, Patriots. So, I mean, you should realistically go 3 or 4 wins out of those 5 games if you're the Bears and trying to be a real team.
Yeah.
And then the Rams they're just dead.
They're dead. I mean, they killed them.
They're
put them out
dead.
to pasture, man.
Yeah.
Apparently, Cup might be back week 7. So if that's the case and he can stay alive, then maybe their division is less like unwinnable now, but is still gonna be pretty goddamn difficult to pull out.
Watch the Rams trade for Devontae Adams and win the Super Bowl,
baby.
Well, we have a little update.
Oh no.
The Raiders have informed other teams they would consider trading Devontae Adams for a package that would include a 2nd-round pick and additional compensation.
I'll take every day.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Joe, call him.
I'm so in. I would give up a 1st rounder for Devontae Adams. Are you kidding me?
Probably would too, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, he's like a top 3 wide receiver. It's just he's been stuck in Raider land. So then we had the Buccaneers, Eagles, and the Eagles looked bad, and the Buccaneers looked good again after being bad last week.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, more or less,
that's pretty accurate.
What I was gonna say too about this was that I was just because I was thumbing through my fantasy earlier in the podcast, I looked at Baker Mayfield because he did better than Pat Mahomes this week. And I have both players. And I was looking at what the pattern was, and Baker Mayfield does better against teams that have better passing defenses. He did poorly against the only team that had a bad passing defense.
It is pretty funny.
So, I don't know. I think you just need to challenge Baker Mayfield, and then he'll do well.
Also, did you hear the Tom Brady Baker Mayfield back and forth?
Oh, you know what? I'm totally wrong, by the way. Sorry, go on.
All right, perfect.
It's the opposite.
Okay, well, great. So Baker Mayfield said that when Tom Brady was the quarterback of the Buccaneers, it was very stressful and a high-stress environment for all the guys there and everybody, and now it's just much more relaxed, which Tom Brady replied...
suck my balls.
Essentially.
He said, I thought stressful was not having Super Bowl rings. This wasn't a daycare. If it was going to be fun, I'd go to Disneyland.
Yeah, of course he would say that.
The most Tom Brady thing of all time.
Yeah, that's like a Tom Brady AI.
It really is.
Yeah, really.
If I'd like to partake in this thing called fun, I would go to the Disneyland park where fun is always had.
I mean, he
Only
got
if
to go
it's
to
sponsored.
Disneyland 7 times. So
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? Buccaneers still winning. And the Eagles...
Baker Mayfield is looking literally one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And I much like Rob gets to say, I told you so about Sam Darnold, I get to say, I told you so about Baker Mayfield. Because this whole scenario over the past 3 years, I was like, I do not understand what is going on. Baker Mayfield is actually good at quarterback. Like, I don't get it. Like, what is happening? And now that he is proven that he is, I'm going to claim one I told you so ticket from the ticker. And I'm going to put it in my pocket and leave.
I remember being furious with the Browns before the Deshaun Watson bullshit because of the way that they treated Baker Mayfield. And then they just fucking, multiply that by 1 billion after the fact.
It's also this way you should never get information from Reddit, because Reddit just blindly like spouts what the like narrative is, and everyone at the time was like, "Oh, Baker Mayfield's so shit." This one player's dad uploaded on Instagram and said he was shit. Who was that, by the way? I don't remember.
Oh yeah, it's
OBJ's
OBJ.
dad.
Yeah,
It's like he said it, so it has to be true. Baker Mayfield sucks and is a bad player and a bad person, and it's like
and then
turns out you shouldn't believe what one person thinks.
You need but look at one web page in order to accurately evaluate the Baker Mayfield effect. Go to the Cleveland Browns standings over the last 15 years. You'll see a pretty clear trajectory of when Baker Mayfield entered
I don't believe
picture.
you. Downvote.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
No, yeah, dude, I remember that draft class because it was the same one that Sam Darnold came out in, and Baker was the dude that I desperately wanted actually coming before. Now, I will say that like the way that I looked at him coming into the draft, he didn't live up to that ultimately, right? Like, but he's still, I mean, he's growing and he's getting better, and he's got a real shot here with Tampa Bay with a good offense, with a good veteran offense that's, you know, won things, you know, ones that he can learn from and also, you know, excel with.
They're the divisional leaders right now, like in my eyes, and I think that the Falcons are good, and I think the Saints are probably good. So like I don't know.
I'd say they're best of the teams there, at least right now. You don't know going forward.
Oh,
the thing was like with the Browns, he did well, and then he led them to the playoffs.
Rookie record.
Well, even the third year, they got him to 11-5. They go to the championship game against the Chiefs, right? And then he goes 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. And then the next year, he goes 17 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 3,000 yards. But he has his shoulder injury. So you're like, oh, okay, like his shoulder will get better. And they're like, nah, fuck him, dude.
We want an adult. We want a criminal adult.
And they sure got one.
Yeah.
And so, it's, you know, I feel good. It feels good for him that he's like pretty much playing the best football of his career, and he's just having a great time doing it.
Yeah, I guess honestly, I'm happy that he's not on the Browns anymore.
No, fuck those people.
And then the Eagles I don't know what they're doing. They're just fucking around, I guess.
Yeah, they're falling apart.
Saquon ran for 84 yards, 8.4 yards a carry, and then
why'd he only run 10 times? I didn't watch this game closely.
I didn't watch this either. I guess they were down 28-7, so I think they were just like,
fair, yeah.
We have to like pass the ball, but Jalen Hurts isn't like that good at passing the ball. Like he's okay, but I mean, listen, I mean, you can see the contrast in these teams, right? One team's down 28-0, like the Eagles, and then they try to pass and come back. It's like, like the Packers try to pass and come back, and they put up like 4 touchdowns. So like, I think, and you could even see like the Eagles passing game, even from week 1 when I was watching them, like they were destroying us on the ground. And then when they were like, Jalen Hurts pass time, they're like, he got intercepted. He almost got picked off. He missed a guy. And it's like, I don't think they're very good at passing. Like, he's okay. He can get the job done, but Jalen Hurts, he's more of like a running quarterback. He ran for a touchdown, but the Eagles are, I think there's a little they got a little controversy of what's going on over there.
I think he's moved down into like the bottom of the top 10 of the quarterbacks in the league. Like he was up there in that top 3 conversation for a while, but he's certainly not the elite player that he once was.
But what kind of mythical animal is he if he were elite?
Liger.
Oh, those are real, aren't they?
Yes.
Are they?
I think
so. I'm pretty sure those are real.
Yeah.
I mean, now all animals are mythical to me, Rob.
Yeah, no, it's real. Yeah, liger.
Yeah, you know,
a mix of a lion and a tiger.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, even if you look at his throwing numbers, like his best throwing year was last year for 3,800 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions. And then the year before that was 3,700 yards, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So he's like more of a conservative passer and then wants to run. But it seems like now when they need him to throw the ball more, he's just kind of not great. Like he's got 900 yards, 4 TDs, 4 picks. It's not good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This
is rushing stats on the year. That's it.
Check the
okay. Well, I mean, like if I don't know, like I think if you look at his overall stats on the year of his career so far, he kind of looks like he's Trevor Lawrence in passing, but he also rushes for nearly 1,000 yards every year. So I don't know. I think that's kind of the thing you get there.
Yeah, I'm not saying
I mean?
he's like bad as the quarterback because he is a dual threat quarterback. It's
yeah,
just,
I mean, he had 15 rushing touchdowns last year, actually.
Yeah, like it's a lot of rushing touchdowns, but it almost feels like teams are just shutting that down now, and they're like, throw it, and he's just not throwing very well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what the Eagles going forward, but right now I think there's another team in the division looks a lot better. But then we had 49ers Patriots first.
Patriots suck.
Boo.
Patriots are bad.
Yep, Patriots suck.
Yep, they're bad. Then we had, by the way, Jordan Mason, 49ers, 123 yards and a touchdown again. Dude's balling out over there.
Feasting.
So yeah, that was a game.
I want to get to Jaden Daniels.
Commanders Cardinals.
Oh boy.
Someone said Jaden Daniels has more scoring drives than incompletions.
Yes,
that's fucking wild.
That sucks, but like in a cool way. like
Jaden Daniels.
He did throw a pick in this game too, actually. But his completion percentage
game, I think.
Yeah, but his completion percentage is still incredibly high despite throwing a pick.
Yeah. Like it is.
I was fully sleeping on this dude. I had no idea, and now I am wide awake. Like holy shit, they are just on a tear right now. With this
we are learning that when there's like 3 to 4 quarterbacks in the draft, and there's a clear-cut first pick winner, pick the second one instead.
Right?
Because holy moly.
Yeah.
It's got to be the chip, right? There's got to be the chip on their shoulder. Is overpowered, just like a divisional rivalry. It's got some kind of magical force that just completely sends them to another level.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Rob's favorite quarterback was Jaden Daniels this draft.
Oh yeah, I forgot that actually.
He forgot that he liked
that was Rob's fan in the background contributing there.
Wait, it was. So, and was the traditional thinking? Sorry about the squeaks.
Yeah,
I know. I'm sorry.
Yep.
That was the traditional thinking. It was the other guy. It was Caleb Williams.
Well, yeah,
everybody
said
it was Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
but the thing with Caleb Williams we've brought up.
I'm glad I remembered now.
He's got a better arm. He's got an insane arm. He can make crazy throws, but he also plays.
Jaden Daniels already has the best throw of the year.
Well,
so,
Jaden Daniels, I think, has better accuracy. I think he has better kind of quarterback footwork. I think he's more of like a pocket passer than Caleb Williams, who's still kind of playing run around football. Like he's done it a little better, but he's also been throwing the ball like 3 yards. So like once he actually starts throwing more downfield and being accurate with it, then it'll be like, okay. Plus it's the Bears, so I still don't trust the Bears to do anything. But Jaden Daniels, he looks real good.
Yeah, he looks very, 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 very efficient. That's the thing that's weird. Is that like that's a unique trait. There are very few QBs who have been like that. Like Drew Brees comes to mind. Alex Smith was also very efficient, but he didn't throw the volume like Drew. Like he seems closer to like a Drew Brees. He was too, yeah, but he was mostly efficient in the touchdown to interception ratio.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas like this is more like the completion percentage kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, speaking of it, we just talked about Jalen Hurts. I mean, look at Jaden Daniels. He's throwing the ball, and then he also ran for 47 and a touchdown. So I mean, he's like he almost feels like a better Jalen Hurts at this point. Like, and then Brian Robinson Jr., who I have on my fantasy team, 101 yards and a touchdown. Nice. Great stuff. Yeah. And like their defense seems pretty good. I mean, looking at their defense, there's a lot of guys I recognize there that I didn't even realize, like Bobby Wagner, who's like, I think like 20 years in the league at this point on the team, making the most tackles.
Yeah. That's amazing that he's still playing. He's from the Legion of Boom.
Yeah. No, he's how old is he? He's 34. Wow. I'm
Yeah.
still older than him, actually. Jeremy Chin from the Panthers. They got Jonathan Allen, who's been on the team a while. He's really good. They have Dante Fowler Jr., who's kind of been a journeyman pass rusher. Deron Payne's really good. Like, they've got a good defense too. So
I'm sorry. Can I just mention that Jeremy Chin sounds like a gangster from the bootleg era, like an Italian gangster?
1,000,000%. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It does.
Hey,
Yeah.
is the Chin? You're not gonna like his Tommy gun.
And he's got the chin of the Crimson Chin from the Fairy
Right.
Godfather.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I was curious about this. The Commanders, I don't remember having a very good passing game over the last few years, and the statistics will verify that. Specifically, the Commanders were ranked 25th in the league last year in yards per attempt in the air. Take a stab at where you think they're at right now. Yards per attempt in the league rank.
Oh, in
'Cause
the
it's-
air yards?
Yeah, because it's 3 is what it is. I won't even make it.
All right.
League.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah,
Who's above them?
That's it goes 49ers, then Vikings, then Commanders, which makes a lot of sense.
Wow, that's wow. Actually,
49ers up there is kind of crazy.
But,
Yeah,
well,
that is a little more surprising now that I think about it.
That's Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold showing that they're the ones. I mean, like, because you would think for both of them, Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold, they're being kind of carried by their incredible, supporting cast.
Well, I mean, they also
Justin
kind of
Jefferson,
are.
49ers. Well, I mean, yeah, but
But that's also part of winning football. So it's like you can't just downplay it.
I mean, with that stat, that's not like they're not handing the ball off, or dumping it off 5 yards and letting the
they're getting
go.
some yardage.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, even though they do have like insane receivers like Jefferson or the good offensive lines, like you still have to be able to do the job you need to do, right? Like you could still be inaccurate, you could still like miss guy and not read the right play and stuff, or turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But in the other side, the Cardinals were
bad.
James Conner ran for a touchdown. This is like the Cardinals they got like Kyler Murray throwing 1 touchdown to Marvin Harrison. James Conner runs a bit, and that's like all they do.
Dude, I'm so sad because I was such a Kyler Murray believer. He's my fantasy quarterback. I keep trying to vouch for this kid on the podcast because I believe that he's got the goods. But then they keep losing. He just keeps losing games, and he doesn't look very good. He got nothing on the ground this game, which is wild that he only attempted 1 run when he's been running so well this year.
Yeah.
Like with Marvin Harrison Jr. too, like you got an ace in your sleeve, man, and he still can't get it done. It's so discouraging.
I don't know why they don't feed Harrison. Like if you look at the targets,
they do.
Well, but like, look, he doesn't even have the highest number of targets on the team.
Murray only threw 22 passes. I don't think he threw that much last week either. And like, I like watching the games. You see him like looking to Harrison first read on almost every play. Like they're trying to get him the ball. It's just he's either being double covered, or they just can't. They don't have the time in the backfield. Like they just can't get it done. Get it done.
It's also telling the Cardinals were 4 of 11 on 3rd down, while the Commanders were 9 of 12. That's like they're converting 3rd downs at an insane rate. I think I even saw that. They have like an 80-something% 3rd down conversion rate, which is like the highest in the NFL.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, their offensive efficiency right now is some video game shit. Like it's
seriously
ridiculous.
Who's the head coach of the Commanders right now?
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn too. Yep. That's like he's not like a young hotness kind of guy.
No.
Old head.
Yeah. No, he's with the Falcons for a while.
Beefcake like Mike McDaniel, young honk out there.
Yeah. Did you see those khakis he was wearing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who's their OC? They must have a really good OC. That's my guess.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Wow. That's funny.
That actually is pretty funny. Which again, I think Kingsbury's a better OC than a head coach. Like he feels like the type of guy that just wants to sit alone and draw up plays or some shit rather than like talk to people.
Can I just say from that actually just kind of blew my mind, because that's a very much like Apollo was saying earlier. It's something that I totally agree with. Like the old heads tired coaching that hasn't worked out. But I mean, like in this case, at least so far, damn, right? I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I'm shocked. Like he's just absolutely blowing me away with what he's doing this year. What was it, like 16 drives in a row or something like that they had scoring drives before that interception?
Yeah, like it's insane the efficiency they're rolling with on offense. And I mean, at this rate, I mean they're looking like the team to beat in the NFC East.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
NFC East is gonna have a new division leader this year. It looks like as the curse commands.
Yep. Speaking of division leaders, it's the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh boy.
Again.
God fucking damn it.
Yep. They
can't keep getting away with it. .gif.
Yeah.
Yep. So Patrick Mahomes, another just okay game. 19 of 29, 245, a TD and a pick. Kelsey having his best game of the year with Rashee Rice going out. And then Kareem Hunt just came back. Like, hey, you want to come back? We need somebody. He's like, all right. He ran for 69 yards. Nice.
Nards.
Nards.
And this was the Chargers just couldn't get it done. Like, this was just back and forth, 10-10 football. And then, or the Chargers were up 10-0. Then the Chiefs got 10. Chargers couldn't score again for the entire game. Justin Herbert got beat up back there. He's still not completely healthy.
Dude, yeah, he's broken. Like, he is not healthy enough to be playing, like, even close to 100%. It's pretty obvious. And, like, I was going to mention this is one of the more disappointing losses for me this week next to the Daniel Jones being Daniel Jones. But Justin Herbert's just hurt, man. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now they got the bye week, which I think Apollo was right. They should have just sat him this week.
Yeah.
Really should have.
Yeah. Lad McConkey caught a touchdown, though.
Oh, that was sick. That was such a sick catch, dude.
It was pretty sick.
That's right. It's Taylor Heineke.
Yep.
Behind him, and Easton Stick.
Yeah, I thought Easton was number 2, but I guess not.
And
well, at least according to ESPN. I don't know.
Dude, this Chiefs team is not playing very good football, and it is
still winning.
It is Satan's will that they are 4-0 at this point. Like, I can't believe they've won all 4 of these games.
But can we say this is exactly what happened last year, except it was a little bit more of all team kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like, especially with Pat Mahomes, they just I feel like they just kind of cruise in the regular season now. But when it got to the playoffs, Pat Mahomes was money.
Well,
he was,
as Tony Romo said about 20 times this game, the Chiefs got championship DNA.
Yep.
He just, every other time, they're like, how are they doing it? He's like, championship DNA. I was like, I don't even know what that means.
It means the other teams keep fucking up when they have opportunities to succeed.
The Chiefs just have this DNA aura they radiate, and then that makes the other team drop the ball, or it makes this dumb shit happen.
Or breaks their fucking ankles.
Yeah. Well, it backfired this game for Rashee Rice, but
right.
I mean, it's just the Chiefs win again. I'm just gonna keep picking them until they lose.
Boring, man. Yeah, I mean, I thought I had a little ace in the sleeve myself there with the Chargers pick, and they very much like the Giants thing, where like they had opportunities to win and they just did nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's that's a bad team thing if they just don't come back, win.
Also, Herbert's hurt, but still,
he's also hurt. Yeah, but.
I mean, and also, by the way, to your point, I know that with the aura thing, I do think that does kind of exist, not in like a real sense, but in a, the players probably do get in their heads a bit.
Oh yeah, I think it does. Like they'll probably be like, "Oh, it's the Chiefs. We're gonna lose. They'll come back."
Right,
like
right, exactly. And then it that doubt creeps in. And then you drop the pass, or you're on the right spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's actually a play last year, which is one of the reasons I love Aaron Jones, where Wicks dropped the ball against the Rams, and he's just walking off with his head down, and Aaron Jones like takes his head and lifts it up, and he's just like, "Yo, man, let's just keep going." And that like became a gif everyone shows all the time, just like he cheered him up. But he like Wicks was a rookie. He was talking. He was like, that play actually like changed my mindset, because I realized like, yeah, you know what? It's just one play. You move on. There's a bunch of plays in a game, whatever. Like that's the power of just like veteran leadership and just like a good team mentality. Because if like you're a shitty team and that happens, nobody's there to pick your head up. You're just like, I suck. We suck.
It's the end of the world.
Yep. And then everyone just sits around, and your coach is like, yeah, we suck. It's like, all right, it's like the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah. Or
the New
Dan
York
Campbell,
Jets.
right? Like, you know, him like firmly believing in his team, it makes them play better, I think.
Yeah, like they play every play of the game. Like, you know that even if they're down like 30 points, they're going to go out there and play like they can come back, which, you know, the coach really does kind of bleed into the team with personality and everything. So, or having like really good players like that are also going to do that. Speaking of good players, Browns Raiders. There weren't many in this game.
Dude, the result of this game saved my fucking Sunday. I don't know about y'all. Like I had a bad pick'ems week, but if the bad guys got to win and it gave Apollo the 1v4 by picking the Browns, I would not have been okay with that at all. And thank God the Raiders found a way to get this dub.
So here's the thing. I picked the Browns thinking they would win at full strength against the Raiders, right?
Yeah.
The Raiders didn't have Max Crosby or Devontae Adams.
They're two best players easily.
The literal two best players on the team.
Yeah.
And they still, like, the Browns are so bad, like so beyond bad.
It's
and that's great. And that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, how do you lose this game? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's impressive.
I'm
Luckily,
really
Deshaun Watson did post an Instagram post that said "outwork everyone" with a picture of Michael Jordan after this game. So
just like a generic picture of Michael Jordan that he Googled.
He's shooting a free throw. Shooting a free throw. So.
Did he also do the one with the two dolphins jumping out of the water? Where
No, he didn't do that one, but
he really should.
Yeah,
classic.
So,
I'm really enjoying, like, there's got to be a pretty phenomenal supercut coming down the road at the end of the season of Deshaun Watson. Like, just cuts to him on red zone getting absolutely hammered by defensive lines. Like, oh, man, it's been so satisfying.
Yeah, it's... I also saw the quote where he's like, "I'm not a running quarterback" or something when they wanted to do more run plays with him. So I guess, you know, don't outwork everyone in that aspect, but... only in the ways you want.
Browns are currently worst in the league. They have allowed 19 sacks so far over 4 games.
I'm telling you, man. Why would you want to protect a piece of shit like that? It has effects.
They also have the 4th worst passing attack in football, next to the Jaguars, Titans, and Chargers somehow, and then the Patriots.
Classic.
Yeah, but hey, you know what? Nick Chubb's supposed to come back, and I like him.
Yeah.
He's one of the few players.
I can root for him a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. Hopefully he goes somewhere else.
The Raiders' running game is still pretty stalled out. They had Zamir White for 17 and 50 on an average of 2.9 a carry. They had Madison go for a couple of big plays, but they got to figure that shit out.
I wish that they would use him more, to be honest.
The Browns have the 7th worst running game, and the Raiders have the 2nd worst running game. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Can you guess who has the worst running game in football?
Cowboys.
It's the Cowboys. Yep. Followed by the Giants, Raiders, then Giants, Bears, Rams, Jets, Browns.
Yeah.
So, woohoo. Cool. Moving on. Then we had the Bills Ravens, which, hey, thank you, Josh Allen, for having your worst game when you played me in fantasy. Thank you very much.
I told you guys in the Discord you should have seen this result coming. The Ravens were never going 1-3. It wasn't happening.
Yeah.
By the way, I was up against Bear in fantasy this week, as I mentioned. It was relatively close.
It was competitive, yeah. Something happened.
It was the first play of the Ravens where they hand the ball to Derrick Henry and he runs for 87 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
And that pretty much sealed it, honestly.
Yeah.
It turns out Derrick Henry still real good.
Oh, this is dishonorable for the Ravens not to have just given him the ball on every single one of their final 4 plays. The fact that he finished with 199 yards is disgusting, and I hate it.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. You couldn't just get him 1 more yard.
Yeah. This is why the Ravens are such an annoying team. Is they should be this good. Like, this is what their team is supposed to be. Like, you have Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. You have an insane run game. You have a pretty solid defense. Like, this is what the Ravens are supposed to look like, and yet some weeks they just decide not to look like this for inexplicable reasons. Congratulations on not crumbling in the fourth quarter, though, Ravens. That's the first one I've seen of those in a while.
It actually kind of looked like Buffalo was like they had the momentum on their side up until they gave it right back. But yeah, that was scary for a minute there. If they could just go ahead and keep being these Ravens for the rest of the fantasy season, I would really appreciate that. Although you could get Mark Andrews involved maybe one fucking play, please.
No, I don't think they can.
Like, what happened?
It's it's tight ends, baby. That's how it goes.
They did throw to Isaiah Likely for a pass for 26 yards.
Sounds like
he's still looking pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, Lamar only completed 13 throws. Like, they didn't even need to throw the ball.
And just 9 of those were to running backs.
Right.
Yeah.
So this was, and I mean, those are essentially running plays at that point when you're throwing it to running backs. So this was just, they ran right through the Bills all game, and the Bills they didn't do anything.
This is sort of I will say, like, I yearn for good passing as a fan of the Jets.
Yeah.
However, the thing that is very satisfying about a running team, especially one that's good, like the Ravens are, is when it's working, there's kind of no recourse. You know what they're going to do. You just can't stop it,
Yeah.
Like, so it's one of those things that it is kind of satisfying if you're on the, giving end.
Yeah.
When you're on the receiving end, it's the fucking worst because it's just like, fucking do something. Stop this man.
Oh, that's the other thing I didn't mention about the Vikings. They stopped our run like really well. In fact, the Vikings have the second best run defense, with the Ravens being first. So, and the Steelers third. So, like, Vikings run defense is actually insane, which I guess doesn't matter this week because the Jets don't run the ball anyway. So,
God damn it, dude.
But yeah, that's And then we had Titans Dolphins, which we already talked about, and then we had Lions Seahawks.
This was like actually one of the most fun games of football I've watched in the last 3 years.
I'm kind of sad.
I watched all the highlights. It was crazy.
This is what I want football to be. Like, it's like I get that like high offense can be boring sometimes, but when the offense is this fun, when the plays are this creative, and it's not just like, oh, here's a 15-yard pass down the middle. Oh, here's a 15-yard pass down the middle. Oh, here, like, when it's not that, like, and it's this, you have Jared Goff getting a receiving touchdown. You have a 70-yard touchdown by Jameson Williams. You have just all of this incredibly, like, even the Seahawks had like a hook and ladder kind of play that got them like 30 yards.
Yeah.
This is what football can be, and this is what the Lions can be, by the way. Like, this is what I was saying, how like, hey, hello, remember that you have an insanely talented offense with some of the most creative play calling, and they remembered. So that's cool. Thank you, Lions, for doing that.
Can we also mention Jared Goff?
Yes, dude.
This is the record.
No one's ever done this.
The previous one was in 2005. Kurt Warner went 10 for 10, and that's held for 20 years. And then he beat it by 8 fucking throws, dude. He nearly doubled it.
And he caught
he did have an incompletion,
but it was called back from a penalty.
Right, it was a penalty.
Yeah.
Didn't exist. Didn't happen.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
Dude,
I mean
that's
the Lions.
Crazy stat line.
The Lions completely had their way with this one.
Did you guys see that he also said he didn't know it happened until people told him afterwards?
Yeah, he was just
crazy,
dude.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I do play Apollo in fantasy this week, and Goff and Montgomery have bye weeks, so that's
so does Gibbs. So you don't worry, we're not.
All right, whew, thank God.
Yeah, it would have been fun to play each other with the Lions offense.
That would be fun,
But instead you get my backup running backs, which is Rico Dowdle and whoever the hell else it's gonna be.
Rico Dowdle.
Rico Dowdle, or you get Devin Singletary, or you get Tony. No, Tony Pollard's on the bye week, so you literally get those two.
Woohoo! Yippee!
Dude,
sick.
Can we talk about Geno Smith throwing 56 fucking times?
Yeah. He did indeed throw 56 times. I mean, hey, Geno Smith's already got 1,100 yards on the season, 4 TDs, 4 picks. But yeah, I mean, Seahawks.
They were playing from behind from pretty much the jump. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lions never looked back on this one. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
David Montgomery had one of the fucking angriest, coolest runs I've
Oh
ever
yeah, I
seen.
saw that. It was insane.
Like he literally, like the dude was running at him full speed, and then Montgomery didn't even move. Like the dude hit him full on, and Montgomery just completely still, like a fucking, like, you know how like a bird's head stays perfectly still. It was like that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then he just kept running, and he broke like 4 more tackles on the
Yeah.
way.
In fact,
It was like a.
there it is for anyone who wants to see it. Well,
It's worth a watch.
yeah.
I am kind of imagining David Montgomery being held by a giant and he's lifting him up and down, but Montgomery's head is staying perfectly.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that's a tough boy run right
Yeah.
there. Holy
No,
shit.
it's David Montgomery is literally like a bowling ball. Like, dude reminds me of Maurice Jones-Drew from back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he
Yeah.
just runs strong.
I do love the power back kind of runners that just kind of tank shots and truck through people.
Dude,
Yeah.
he's 5'10". That dude must be
Yeah.
built like a fucking brick house. Shit.
Yeah, once you're under 6 foot, your muscles are so compact and your body is just like, ugh, like that's why the smaller runners are like kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great game, great stuff, record breaking game, and it is an actual fun Monday nighter. Which I didn't get to see the game live, but I saw the highlights. Still good.
Yeah, I've just been watching through them now as we've been talking about it. Yeah, it's so fun to have these Lions in the league, dude. It's such a fun team.
Yeah, our NFC North, dude. It's
I hope the Lions don't do anything shitty like the Browns.
I was literally thinking that, dude.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh man, I
Like,
really hope they
please
don't send their
don't.
villain arc at some point.
Well, I
There's
mean,
enough evil in the world. Please, just let us keep this.
yeah, let's just keep that to the Bears. Like, all right.
Yeah.
There you go. And that's all the games of the week. Here we go with power rankings.
He remembered this time.
I remember. I'm in mid-season
We
form.
remember. Memory.
Memory. We've got the top 5 starting with Rob.
I would like to take the Kansas City Chiefs, please.
That is correct. Apollo.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll take the Minnesota Vikings.
that's right. The Vikings are number 1.
I had a
Let's
feeling.
go.
I had a feeling.
When
Love
did
it.
has that happened in the podcast?
I
don't know.
don't
Maybe
know.
not.
A team going
think it
from like
has.
28 to first.
Well,
Pixel
but also
consult the database.
yeah, I just mean the Vikings specifically, like because
Oh.
they've been good before, but I don't think they've.
It was
ever
a couple
been
years
won.
ago when they won every 1-score game imaginable. We kept saying they were frauds, and then they lost to the Giants in the wild card.
Yeah, but
Shut
were they
up.
ever number 1 in the
I don't know if they were number 1 then, but Bear.
Let me go. Oh, you know what? It's got to be Lions now, right?
Lions are number 3. Yep.
Yeah.
Rob.
The Texans.
Yep, they're number 5. And who is number 4? Apollo.
This one they wouldn't? Would they dare?
They wouldn't do it.
There's one thing I wouldn't want them to do, and one thing I would want them to do.
Mhm.
I'm
guess.
gonna I'll pick the fun thing and say the Commanders.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Too fun.
Yeah, they would
Yeah,
never do fun
yeah,
things. That's
right.
fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I think the boring pick is probably still the Bills.
It is the Bills.
Yeah,
I don't even know
Really?
how because the Ravens beat them and
Yeah, I thought the
Yeah,
Ravens
shit
would go into.
stomp,
yeah.
I thought the Ravens were going to be in that spot.
Really?
I did too.
That was my other pick. Well,
that's a
yeah,
good
because
possibility.
I mean, they're still
the Bills
doing
were the
good, but
number
yeah.
1 team, and the Ravens were supposed to be good. They just weren't being good
I mean,
Yeah.
Ravens
Yeah.
got to be in the top 10 now, at least, right?
easily.
They,
Yeah, but it's
yes. I don't know if there's any questions about it, but we had the
Fair,
thinnest
fair.
dink. +9.
Plus 9.
I mean, this should be an easy one.
Oh,
It-
Commanders.
It is the Commanders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd do
Yeah,
it.
that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
I
They
didn't
went
know
from
how low
s-
they were.
They were at 16th. They are now 7.
Huh.
Ooh,
So a big jump there.
that's
They might
big.
be even better than that.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see. We gotta see.
Yeah,
how they
we'll
keep going.
see.
Then a big old fat doink coming in, falling.
Pittsburgh.
It's
I thought it would be.
What's our
Steelers,
number?
too.
What's our number?
5 to 13.
Oh,
shit.
5?
Yep.
Wow, okay.
Who was
Oh shit.
5?
Who is it? It's
Who
not...
the fuck was 5? I don't remember.
The Bills?
No,
no, we just
they're
talked
in the
about
top
they're in the
5. We
top
just
5.
showed
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
I don't remember who would have been the Seahawks.
Eagles?
Eagles, you got
Okay,
it.
They
yeah.
did look like ass.
They
They
did
look real
like
bad.
ass. They fall into 13th.
13th.
and-
Oh,
Ooh.
god damn, dude.
Yeah, that's actually great. They are right behind the 49ers, who are 12th.
Wow.
I mean,
The
the
Steelers
Commanders
fall
being that
too.
far over the Eagles does make sense. So I guess to balance things
I guess
out,
do
you
the
gotta
do the
that.
questions.
Yeah, we'll do the
first.
questions for it. There are 7 3-1 teams, but only one of them is not in the top 10. Which is it?
Let's see. I'm looking at all the 3-1 teams. It's got to be the Steelers.
The
I think it's the Steelers too, but the Seahawks?
Seahawks, yeah.
It's the Seahawks.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Steelers are in the top 10.
Seahawks are number 11. The Steelers are number 10.
I'm shocked they're still in the top 10. I feel like people just they attach themselves too much to score and not like level of play. I don't know.
Yep.
And like quality of
I-
opponent.
I mean, I don't know. If you're putting between Seahawks and Steelers, I feel like that's a relatively even matching. I think that's fair, actually.
Well, I thought the Seahawks. Well, they look weirdly enough. They looked better in this game that they lost to me than the other
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't know. The Seahawks, I don't think they had a weak schedule, and the Steelers also had like a mid schedule that they played against. So
Currently, the Saints are 14, and the New York Jets are number 15, right in the middle.
That's fair. Honestly, we should be lower.
The Packers are number 9, and the Buccaneers are number 8. Yippee. There is one team that has dinked every week this season, and one team that has doinked every week this
Really?
season. Which are those two teams?
the Jacksonville Jags have doinked.
Oh,
every
yeah,
week.
yeah.
Yep, they
Yeah.
have.
And the
They're-
Vikings have dinked.
Yeah, that's right. It's the
Nice.
Jaguars
The 0-4 and the 4-0
Vikings.
team. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
Well done.
the only thing that makes sense.
Yep.
You skipped one of them, by the way, Coach.
Oh, did I? There are 9 1-3 teams. How many are in the top 20?
Okay, in seeing this question, I looked at all of the 1-3 teams, and I was like, they're all terrible. So
Right.
there's no way that any of them are in the top. Like that's basically top half of the league, right? And
I
then
think
I don't
two
think
of
any
them.
of them are.
I'm gonna say 2.
Okay.
Wait, repeat the question.
There are 9 1-3 teams. How many are in the top 20?
Ooh.
It's 1 or 2. I know the one for
I
sure.
would say 1.
It is 0.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought the Bengals
a
for
trick.
Yep.
sure would be in the top 20.
I thought it was the
Bengals-
Rams.
The Bengals are 21.
Oh, that's
That's fair.
tricky.
That's fair.
Rams are
tricky-ass
23.
question. And the Rams were my other one, man.
Yeah.
It was like Bengals, Rams were my 2.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
the Sphinx would eat our souls.
You really would. The Commanders reached the top 10 for the first time in power ranking history.
They weren't
Wow.
even in the top 10. That's crazy.
It also says
That's-
parentheses, Rob was right last week. I don't actually know what Rob.
Oh,
Did
I
you
don't
say that-
remember. I remember saying something very forcefully and saying that I would be very angry.
And now
if you-
having absolutely no memory of it.
Yeah. I have no memory of this place.
Well, it's probably about the Commanders not being in the top 10, honestly.
It's
It probably
possible.
was, yeah. if
I
that-
don't. I
Joined the team
remember.
today
I
as
remember it
Rob.
was strong. I had strong feelings. I remember those.
But
Rob being
now,
praised for things he doesn't remember.
now there are only 2 teams that have never made the top 10. Who are they?
Okay.
Oh, Panthers.
Panthers
Yes.
has got to be 1, and
That
then
makes sense.
Giants.
Nope. It's
no,
actually
they had that
pretty
Yes,
playoff.
though. Oh yeah, they did
I-
have the Saquon year.
Weirdly enough, I would feel like
Bears.
it's like the Raiders.
Nope. And
I
nope.
said Bears. No,
Nope.
okay.
Not them. Titans.
Nope.
No, they had that
No
one
way,
good year with the Derrick Henry.
and Tannehill.
Yeah.
It's the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh,
That is a
really?
weird
Wow.
Yeah,
one.
it is a weird one.
Dirty Birds.
Huh.
I
They've
guess
they
the-
really have been the kings of mid for quite a while.
Yeah.
I
I
think
guess.
the year after we started this podcast was when they lost the Super Bowl by when they
Right.
blew the big lead. I think that's what
Yeah.
it was. So we didn't
What was
actually
their
cover
record
that.
year.
I mean, they were like 13-3 that year, weren't they? Yeah, I think so. But yeah, and then after that, they were just bad, and that's when we started doing the podcast. So they've never been good since then. We cursed them, really.
Yeah, that was the whole point of the show.
No, that's what we were going for.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have been sacrificing the cats and stuff, right? Every show.
I mean, I forgot why we were doing it, but yeah, I've still been doing it.
Fair, yeah. It still should still work.
Bear
Grumps. Also, someone tell me what I was right about. I'm frustrated.
Well, based on the
don't
question,
even
it was just whether or not the Commanders had been in the top 10 ever.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
Right.
So into the airlock. This was the first time Krendor's ever locked the Jets, and it will be the last time I ever locked the Jets. There's now only one team that he has never locked in his Pick'em's career. Yo, what the shit?
Really?
Yeah.
There's
We've been
gotta
doing
be,
this for a
probably like
while.
a sneaky hidden message in the
there's
the
gotta
picture
be
there that shows you which one it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's probably the Vikings, you know?
I feel like I've locked them. Like, well, it
Sure,
says,
like
okay,
it has.
hold on though. It says Bear has picked the Panthers for the first time in his 21 games. His last Panthers pick was January 8th, 2023. This ends his second longest pick against streak behind only the Browns' 39-game active streak.
I didn't realize that was that long. Holy
But
shit.
here's the thing. I'm kind of reading too into it now. But the Panther is locked behind Gates. Does that mean that I haven't locked the Panthers?
No, it's Gates as in Antonio Gates, as in former Charger Antonio Gates. It's the Chargers.
Ah,
Oh
shit.
my god. We're so many layers deep.
I don't know where I am. Then we
We need a
have
Pick'em's wiki.
Division Vision. Apollo went 5-0 predicting divisional games this week, bring him to 11-2 on the season.
Damn.
For
That's pretty good.
non-divisional,
Yeah.
If only my rating at picking the rest of the games was better.
Right.
Yeah.
for non-divisional 12-17. So that's
Yeah.
Great off.
non-divisional games within the same conference 12-17. So like
Oh,
NFC versus NFC, AFC
Right.
versus AFC.
Okay.
A nested development. Rob has disagreed with the AC of the week on every Cardinals game this season, splitting 2-2. Prior to this year, Rob agreed with the ACs on 20 of 24 Cardinals games.
Oh no, I don't know how I did, so I can't judge the magical qualities of it to choose my next pick.
Yep. And feeling lucky, the hosts are now 4-5 when Randy locks the same team as them. When Randy
Fuck
locks
you, Randy.
When Randy locks against their lock, the hosts are 5-3. So actually, Randy locking against us is lucky. Randy locking with us is cursed.
Okay,
Yeah, he locked with me this week. That's why we lost, piece of shit.
Yep.
Well, okay, so first of all, little symbols of all of our faces on the padlocks in the picture. Very cute.
Yep.
Second of all,
Yep.
officially, canonically, the case now that Randy locking against your pick means that you are guaranteed the dub.
Yep.
Yes.
Basically,
You want
yeah.
that. But Randy locking with you and joining together,
Well,
not
locking
good.
against your lock, not just your pick.
Oh, just
Yeah.
your lock.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, this week I went 9-8. Rob went 12-5. Bear went 8-9. Apollo 10-7. Randy 5-12. Discord 11-6, and MILF Jason 9-8. That means Bear, Taffy, and Discord sit tied in first, with Rob only one game behind. Krendor, the ACs, and Dumb Dog are in a tight battle for fourth, while Randy he needs help.
I mean, he's gonna pull it back. If
He's gonna pull it back.
He will.
Well below what he normally is.
Yeah.
He's 0-4 in his locks. It's been a rough start to the year.
Yeah.
Can I also, because we didn't mention it specifically, but like again, the art is on point, very on fire for the whole
Yes.
the bonus stats, particularly Krendor Sloth hanging out on the plane.
Oh yeah, 100%. I love that.
There's a sloth on the wing.
And it's huge.
Pick'ems time.
Pick'ems,
Actually, wait,
baby.
fantasy football update. Fantasy
All
football
right,
update.
also fantasy football.
Oh, yeah, we
Fantasy
get to mention
football
that,
update.
Yep. So currently we've got.
Oh, I want to check in on. Have you guys been watching? I want to see the comments of people with the fantasy. I didn't check last week's comments.
I haven't checked comments either.
Yeah,
You
I
do
gotta
that?
check that one.
Where's
You don't
the-
check. I look.
Master
Oh, the
Pro-
YouTube
Please
comments.
comment. Yeah, YouTube comments.
Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
meant like on the fantasy league
Oh
itself.
no.
No.
Master Profits Madmen sits at first with 3-1, 534 points scored. The only person above 500 points, which is kind of insane.
Dude, his team is actually kind of stacked. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Okay,
pretty
I
good.
want to know what happened
Wow.
because they have look at everyone's moves, right? And look at their moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened here?
Yeah, they've been
Who
busy.
invited the stats nerd? All right.
Well, I know I'm playing against someone taking it seriously because I ended up dropping Bucky Irving week 1 just to pick up somebody else, and he snatched him the fuck up. So
yeah.
he's watching.
That's
he
a
knows
lot of
something
moves.
we don't. I look at his team and I go, how did he get this team?
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe he's just a whatchamacallit, a fantasy god. I mean, we did open ourselves up to this by having the.
I like it, dude.
I do too. Yeah.
Challenge, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And remember last I was expecting this to happen like if he runs away and demolishes us the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I was expecting that to happen last year, but Bear
Somehow
won.
I won, so let's get it corrected this time.
Yeah,
We're actually all in a pretty decent spot, to be honest.
Yeah, we're all doing pretty good this year. I like it.
So yeah, I'm in second, 3-1. We also got KJ Sandwich and Jordan Love Shack, all 3-1. Then we
I'm
got
playing him this week.
Apollo and Bear at 5 and 6. Gus at 7. Torax Saints at 8. Rob at 9. But you're all 2 and 2, so you're kind of tied, but points differentials separating. And then 2 1 and 3 teams. We got Feezus Fullbacks and Milwaukee Misfits, and then we have the Chef Men still looking for their first win.
To be fair to the Chef Man, they've got like kind of far and away the most points scored against in the league so far.
Yeah,
which is-
510.
that works out.
That's rough. So
I will say that I'm a little upset that I have the same record as the guy who like forgotten to set his fantasy like 2 weeks in a row. That's a little upsetting.
Yeah, that is.
Oh, you gotta get with the program, man. That's all
Yep.
it is.
So we'll see what happens next week when I play Apollo.
Yeah,
Woohoo!
you're probably gonna
boy.
win, but I'm not trying to set you up for like a loss or anything. And but it's just like my team with the bye week is not very good.
Yeah, there's no way you'd win.
That's how it
I mean, I do have my Lions out as well, so I mean that's. But I think
It's
my
just
team still wins,
your backup quarterback is Derek Carr, which scares me.
yeah. No,
He's going up against the Chiefs though. That's
my full running back team is still powering through. Just all running backs, Travis Kelce. That's all you need. I'm still happy with my draft.
Baran.
Pick'ems.
oh yeah, actual pick'ems times. I forgot about that.
Yep.
Here
Here we go. Let's kick it off with Thursday Buccaneers Falcons. Actually, could be a pretty decent game.
I think this will be a great game. I think the Falcons are still better than everyone thinks they are. They beat the Saints in a close game. I want to pick the Falcons because I know the Discord's going to pick the Bucs. Like that's just guaranteed.
Yeah.
They always pick the favorite.
Mm.
I'm going to pick the Falcons. Fuck it. I'll do it again. I'm going to keep picking them. I'm
Whoa,
going to
do
keep
it.
doing it.
Fucking do it again.
You'll be joining our assistant coach of the week in doing so. Thanks to
Oh,
Garfield for their support on
Garfield.
Patreon.
Oh, dude.
Mm.
He's got a
Let's get
picture of
some
actual
lasagna
Garfield
going.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, straight up. He's also selected the Falcons this week. I'm going to go with the Bucks.
When was the last time you guys had lasagna?
Not that long ago.
Not that long ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I like lasagna.
Been a while for
I like
me.
lasagna too.
I'm gonna take the Bucks too. I also like lasagna.
You know what? I'm gonna go Falcons.
Oh,
Let's go.
It's
fun.
it's divisional, man.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah, no, this
divisional.
isn't
It's
this is
divisional.
an appropriate split of the vote here, I think.
Yeah,
This makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah. All right. Jets Vikings in England.
Vikings.
Oh fuck! It's in England.
Yep.
Yeah.
At
Give me the
9:30
Vikings.
a.m. Baby.
Give me the Vikings, easy.
Yeah, it's Vikings for sure.
I'm gonna pick the Jets.
I knew it. I felt it coming.
The second you said London, I went, this game's not gonna make sense anymore. It's got to be the Jets.
That's true. You know what?
Uh,
I'm gonna go Jets as well.
Oh,
this
you
is
guys.
a fun pick'ems week already. Let's go.
we gotta.
Garfield.
You're
with
not
the
Vikings
considering-
picked from Garfield as well, yeah.
you're not considering how funny it would be for Sam Darnold to absolutely annihilate the Aaron Rodgers
Oh,
led
it is
Jets.
the ultra
That's a
revenge
big
game.
factor
Yes.
here for sure.
Oh no.
The universe wants Sam Darnold to win.
Absolutely.
And no, you want the universe to want Sam Darnold
Yeah,
to win.
yeah.
Therefore, the universe is going to slap it in your face because it does not care about your
very
Just
possible.
bias wants Darnold
Yeah.
to win, yeah.
Inconceivable.
I'm still gonna take the Jets.
All right. I like this start so far.
Yeah.
Bears. Bears.
Oh,
God.
Yeah.
Toilet bowl.
Oh,
like
I
the
said I'm never
Panthers
picking
here.
the Panthers again, so I'm gonna take the Bears.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
going to
take
pick the
Bears,
Panthers
too.
twice in a row after not picking them for 26 straight games. Look at me go.
Wait, wasn't your stat something?
Yeah, that was what it was.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but
And I lost the pick immediately after picking
Yep.
them.
I'm gonna take Panthers just because I just want the Panthers to win, which means I probably should take the Bears, but I don't care.
Actually, you know what? You've convinced me to take the Bears. I'm going to take the Bears.
Yeah.
Garfield's also going Bears.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
fair. Browns Commanders.
Commanders.
Yeah, that's a
Oh,
Commanders.
baby.
that's
Dude,
like almost lockable.
No,
That's-
Garfield
no.
went with the
Locked
lock,
it.
actually. Garfield locking the
Whoa.
Commanders
Yep.
this week. That's
Damn.
that's a debatable
Yeah.
lock. I'm going to go Commanders,
bold.
though.
I mean, that's bold. That's
Yep.
man's got sack, unless she's a lady, in which case she's got sack.
Right.
Yep. Dolphins.
I remember that
Patriots.
Amanda Bynes movie.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Oh, this might be the worst game of the year right here. Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure
I'm
we'll
gonna
have
take
some better competitors later.
I'm gonna take the Patriots. The Dolphins are
yeah,
so...
I'm gonna take the Patriots.
I don't
Unless
know.
Tua
The
comes.
Patriots are
Wait, is Tua
bad.
on IR though, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
yes, but
yeah.
IR rules are different these days. Like he can come back even though he's on IR.
I think it's after 4 weeks though, isn't it?
Don't you have
Something
to
like
be
that,
out
yeah.
for 4 weeks?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was 4
some
weeks.
minimum amount. Yeah.
So he can't play this game. So
No.
so I'm taking the Patriots.
Yeah.
I don't know. God, the Patriots are fucking horrible.
You did
Dolphins
not.
are
The
also
Dolphins don't have a quarterback, my guy.
That's true.
I'm not even trying to convince you so you'll be mad next week. I'm actually like this time it's
Yeah.
like they don't have a
Trying to
quarterback.
help you.
All right, I'll pick the Patriots, but it is peer pressure.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
we can concede to
and
that.
then next week you can be mad again when it.
I also won't remember.
Colts,
Just
yep,
to be
that's
clear,
true as
yeah.
well. Colts,
I'm
Jaguars.
also going to pick the Pats.
Oh yeah, I figured we were always taking the Pats. Colts, Jaguars.
Oh,
It's got to be Colts, right? These Jags are just fucking.
I'm going to take the Jags.
They're
I
so
was
bad, dude.
Also gonna take the Jaguars because I feel like
Anthony
I don't think
Richardson
they're
got
a
hurt.
winless team.
I
is
don't
he
think
out?
Joe Flacco.
Hurt?
Joe Flacco.
I think it said he avoided serious injury, but he might still miss a week.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
said
actually
day-to-day.
know.
So
Yeah.
he might, but I
I
think
mean, he
even
wasn't
if he
playing
was
that.
playing,
Yeah.
I still might take the Jaguars. I don't think they're a winless team. I think they're not a good team.
I mean, they
but-
almost beat the Texans.
Yeah, they still almost
Yeah.
beat the Texans. It's like
And Anthony Richardson, even though he's playing poorly this season right now, he did look really good when he played, on his rookie year.
I mean, he looked
So
pretty
maybe it's-
bad the last couple of weeks.
Well, yeah, He's
Yeah.
this season it's been not good.
Yeah.
But
You know what? I'm going to put a pin in this one. I'm coming back to this one.
okay.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Colts
Can he
for
do
now, but I
that?
might
Okay.
change.
I'm testing. I'm going to
That's
see
part
if
of the rules,
allow
yeah.
it.
Bills, Texans. Woo.
Bills.
Yeah, I'm going to try not to overthink this and pick Bills.
I'm gonna go Texans.
I hate to agree with Coach, but I think I'm gonna go Texans.
Yeah, I hate to agree with me as well. Uh,
Garfield also went Bills.
yeah. Ravens, Bengals.
Ravens.
Bengals
Hell,
are gonna
Ravens.
win this one.
Yeah, it's Ravens.
I really
Bengals
wanna
are gonna
lock
win this
Ravens
one.
here.
I know
I'll
it.
lock the Ravens. I'll do it
He'll
again.
do it.
Wow. I
This is-
actually think Krendor might be right here. This is a trap
Bro,
game and a
no
half.
way.
People are
This is
already
the
tricked by the
trappiest
Ravens
trap
again.
game.
The
Bengals
Ravens
are
are
coming
good
back.
again.
Bengals
This
are also good.
No,
and
they're
it's the
not at
divisional.
all
It's
that good.
divisional. The Bengals they have a bad record, and this is the trappiest trap game that's
Yep.
ever been trapped.
I'll be
Bengals.
honest, like I'm taking this lock because I'm looking at the future games. There's really not like an easy lock in the rest of this slate of games that I see.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm locking the Niners. I'll just tell you that right now.
I was about to say
That's
I'm
a
probably gonna knock
divisional.
them.
That's a divisional game, brothers, and the you got to watch
So
out.
is this one.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like that's not an easy one. I don't
Yeah,
think this is an
yeah.
easy one either.
Raider Broncos.
Garfield went Broncos, and I feel like there's some kind of otherworldly force at
gonna-
work with them lately.
Go Broncos because they got a good defense and
Yeah.
the Devontae Adams thing, and I don't know if Max Crosby's
Yeah.
playing.
It is divisional, though. It's divisional.
Why did they make them hard this week?
This is a really hard
tough
week. This is like the hardest week I can remember.
I'm gonna
guess Broncos. Oh man,
I'm gonna go.
Get it out. Get it out of there.
Broncos.
Oh man, Grindor, is it a sweep?
But you know what I wanted to say?
Know.
Did you guys ever have green tea ice cream?
Yes.
Did you ever think about that?
I have.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good, yeah.
I like it. I'm a fan. You guys
I like it too.
Oh, thanks.
What did that? Brought it up.
I don't know.
What just happened?
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna go Raiders.
All right, that's more interesting anyway.
Yeah, no, I was thinking that too.
The Broncos did pass for like 10 yards if they didn't get that one pass.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna do that. Cardinals 49ers.
Lock of the Niners.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well,
all right. I thought that's what I was doing. That's what the green tea bit was. I was just trying to like delay the.
Yeah. I was still thinking about it. You got me.
I'm taking the Niners.
Yeah.
I'm going Niners.
Yeah, I'm locking the Niners.
You gonna pick those? You gonna pick those Cardinals?
No, I said Niners.
Oh, you said
Niners.
Niners.
Yeah, we all said Niners.
Yeah.
What is the?
I think it's gonna be a closer game.
They went Niners.
Yeah. Niners. Okay.
Seahawks Giants.
Give me a lock on the Seahawks.
Yeah, that's good.
I will be taking the Seattle Seahawks.
Seahawks.
It's still Geno season, man.
Wait, have I feel like I've locked the Niners multiple times this season and failed. Is that true?
I don't
You
know.
locked them
they haven't
once
lost that
and
much, right?
failed.
I
You
think
locked
you
them
locked
against the
once.
Rams.
Okay.
I'm going with the vote of confidence from our assistant coach this week, Garfield, who currently is 4-0 in predicting Seahawks games, and he's also chosen the Seahawks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Seahawks. Packers, Rams.
Packers.
I will be locking the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can tell you from
Packers.
experience that this ends poorly.
It probably does, but I saw enough of the Rams to be like, I think this should be an easy one.
The
Yeah,
Packers did make it competitive against the Vikings at the end there.
Yeah. The Packer defense is actually pretty solid. So that's why I'm like, I think we can beat Matt Stafford without receivers.
I mean, I think the offense is pretty solid too, considering.
Yeah, the offense.
Like,
is still
I think
good.
what's his face? I didn't mention it during the thing, but Jordan Love looked kind of shaky at the beginning, but he kind of rounded it out through the game, I think.
Yeah. No, you could tell that he was getting used to not playing football at the start and playing again, and then he kind of got into a groove, and then he was fine.
Yeah.
So
That's a pack sweep.
yeah, it's pack sweep.
Yeah, pack sweep.
Cowboys Steelers.
Oh.
I'm taking the Cowboys to avoid sadness.
I'm
No,
taking the
it's
Steelers because
Yeah.
yeah.
Steelers at home. Cowboys can't run.
Yeah, give me
See,
the Steelers.
this is the trap. And this is the trap that I refuse to fall into.
Well, that's a fun 1v4 for you, at least.
There you go.
Yeah.
Garfield took Steelers.
Yeah.
And Chiefs Saints. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs.
I'm actually gonna change my lock to the Chiefs. That feels
All right, yeah.
that feels better, right? I mean,
Yeah,
does,
probably. I don't know, man. It's hard to not.
I'm taking the
Chiefs lock.
Saints.
Oh,
what are you
what
doing?
the
Are you
heck?
cursing me? Are you cursing me? Is that what you're doing?
The Chiefs have looked so bad. They're like
That's what I
True.
said last week, and then look what happened.
Yeah,
They were
exactly.
playing against a dead Chargers team. This is a Saints team that actually
Dude, they're
looks
not good.
good.
Jim
They're on
Harbaugh.
the downtrend.
I'm taking the Saints.
Woo! All right,
Oh,
Randy
man.
time.
I'm either gonna have the.
Randy!
What's scary is that week one I said this too. Am I gonna have the best week ever or the worst week ever? Had the worst week ever once already, so I might make a comeback this
You're
week.
due, I guess.
Also,
Good
Bear,
day.
your pinned game is now unpinned. You have to.
Oh,
pick
yes. I
Yep.
will go with I forgot which one it is. It was Colts Jags, right?
Colts
It'd
Jags.
be so
Yeah.
funny if we just did not remind you.
That would be funny.
Yeah, let's-
Well, I mean, it would have been recorded as pinned.
Yeah,
That's true,
no,
yeah,
I'm
pin.
going to go Jags. I'm going to go Jags.
All right. Randy's going with the Buccaneers.
Okay.
He's going with the Vikings,
Smart.
Okay.
Bears,
Okay.
Browns,
Mm.
Patriots,
Okay.
Jaguars,
Sure.
Texans.
It's hard to not like any of Randy's picks this week.
Yes. Who knows what the hell's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Ravens,
Sure.
Yeah.
Raiders,
Sure.
Okay.
49ers,
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Giants. I don't like that pick.
Oh, okay. That's
Uh,
Rams. I don't like that pick, Randy.
Oh, boy.
Steelers, and Saints.
Oh no! Oh fuck! Wait,
Oh,
no,
boy.
isn't that good? Isn't that good? That's good
Well, it
for
depends
me.
on who he
It's
locks.
it's
Depends on
winning
who he
lock.
locks.
On the
Shit.
lock. And
Come on, give me that
Randy
Giants lock, Randy.
has locked. Wait, which number is this? 2, 4, 8, 10, 12.
Giants.
The Steelers.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Look at that.
Well,
see how that goes.
Yeah. Well,
does that mean I should lock the Cowboys?
If you want.
if you want to, I guess. But
no, I'm not gonna.
yeah, that'll do it for this week. Thanks for listening. Here's all the patrons. Thank you to Patreon patrons.
Thank you, Patron.
Thank
Take
you
it,
very much.
Pedro.
Check it out. Here we are. Thank you, everybody. And we'll be back next week with football.
Woo!
Bye-bye.
Bye.